Establishing battlefield control. Stand by.
Hello, hello, hello. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear the snowman? Can you hear the snowman? Alright, that should be good. Okay, hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome to the stream. Alex Pisadze, General Kenobi, Zaptages is there. He gets it. David said, literally just started playing this myself recently. Love your channel. Well, thank you, David. I don't think I've seen you on my channel before, so welcome aboard the Snowman train. Appreciate it. It's kind of uncharacteristic for me to release 2 video essays in 1 month, so you're welcome. Cyborg Merc, welcome back. Thank you that you can hear me all right. Mike is quiet. I hate having to adjust everything. What if I just adjust the gain on my mic? That might be better. Everyone else, how's the... Let me see if I can adjust the gain on my mic, see if that works better. Okay, how about that? The mic, the gain has been raised. Is that better? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, testing. It does sound better. It might help if I lower the desktop volume. Yeah, I might just lower the desktop volume. That might make this better. 1 sec. Let's head back to the comments. We do a thing where we highlight member comments. So I'm gonna go to that real quick while I adjust some of the gain or some other stuff. Sorry guys, my brain's a little. Bleh. 1 sec. Desktop audio. See if that's better. Okay. Let's see. All right, testing now. Let's see. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. Talking at normal volume, normal volume, normal volume. Okay, I think as long as I just speak up and don't mumble, everything will be fine. Don't worry, Rapunzel, just no more mumbling. Alright, that should be good enough for now. Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, I'll just try to speak up. That shouldn't be too hard for me. I was told my whole life that I talk too loudly. Alright. While we're here, we might as well look at the member comments here. Let's see if I can get a better look at them. Okay, so no, I don't need to see that. Just make it bigger. There. All right, our first comment from our member is from Trevin Lane. He's been here for a long time. He's given some pretty good advice on the documentary as far as like military stuff. He's solid. He was commenting on our video, our poll about what is the best basic super tank in generals, and he said the Overlord just requires a tech structure, not a promotion spent. That makes it better by default. I agree. It is a little annoying that both the Paladin and the Marauder require a general's promotion to get, whereas the Overlord, you just need to go up the regular tech tree. It makes it very hard for me to justify spending extra points to get an extra unit when I could spend that in, you know, the Spectre gunship or the Warthogs. Or the mother of all bombs. And of course I need my sniper. Chase Baker, he's written quite a bit on the documentary. Very good. Says my favorite is the Paladin, as it comes with a point defense laser, so all those rocket troopers and buggies can get wrecked by the super tank with battle drone Doomball. Additionally, in the base game, I would place my Paladins to cover my defense line with PDLs. It's the right thing to do. Very good point. Of course, the point defense lasers on the Paladin are not nearly as good as the point defense lasers from the Avenger, so I never found it super useful, because if there's any amount of rocket troopers, it tends to only mitigate rocket damage as opposed to actually stop it. Zaptagus, welcome. You're here on this one. On the Tiberium Wars novelization video, this is one of my favorite comments from that video, it says, always up for a good roast. When his holy crikiness, yes, that's what I'm guessing HHC stands for, Snowman is the one to say, please, for the love of Cain, just curse, you know it's bad. Yes, if anybody watched that video, my gosh. The weird sub-ins for curse words, which I found out some of them are just German words for actual really awful curse words. So it wasn't even like for censorship. I don't even know why. It makes no sense. And finally, this is from one of our member posts, so you guys, most of you didn't see this. I was talking about some of the future stuff I was going to be working on, and the Super Challenge Bros said the General's video essay or a Titanfall 2 essay would be my top 2 picks, which later did end up going to the full vote, and you guys all voted for the General's one. Hold on, let me open up the live chat again. I haven't been able to see that for the last minute or so. Okay. Okay, so let's get started on the campaign. Now, this one's going to be rough because I don't have Luke Danger with me, and Luke Danger was... Zaptasia says, well, in Firefly, they got around censorship stuff by cursing Chinese. Really? That's how they did it? That's pretty clever. I feel like if it's an audio form, it's easier to get away with that. When it's written down, like, how did nobody, like, say, hey, what's this word mean? How did none of the editors or the ELA guys, like, catch this? All right, let me get us back to the main screen. So, basically what we're going to do is we're going to return to the GDF campaign. We are currently doing what I believe to be a defensive mission where you're just defending against waves and waves of enemy. Luke Danger looked like he understood exactly what you had to do to stop this. But it doesn't look like he's here, so I'm going to have to figure this out myself. Here we go. Oh, we're back. Okay. Texture's loading. Crikey. Frick. Shield maidens are anti-air and support units. You got it. I need base defenses. Base defenses. Let's get some lasers. Let's get some lasers. I'm going to need more vehicles. And I'm probably going to need more refineries. There's not a lot of Tempest around me, is there? There really isn't. Okay, we're going to be burning through cash pretty quick here. Alright, let's get you guys all over here. Your group 1. Get up here and get the crate. That's probably useful. Probably money. Crikey. Alright, that was money. Ha! I am rich. That's wonderful. No. I want... Where are the enemy forces? Secondary objective, construct a comms rig. I can do that. No, I can't. I need a satellite uplink. That's basically your radar in this game. Oh, the music, though, slaps. Whoa, they do have... Okay. I like that the laser defenses can shoot at the air, too. That's kind of nice. Alright, we're definitely going to need more lasers. I don't have enough money for that. Crikey, why did they give me such little money? I'm going to have to build a couple more harvesters. Keep you guys here on Group 4 to support whatever comes next. Let's put you guys on projectiles. The marking system was always a bit weird in this game. I'm still trying to figure it out. It's not super intuitive, but I'm also pretty bad at any games that require secondary abilities. I think StarCraft 2 would be a nightmare for me. World Alert 3 was also kind of hard for me to figure out as well. What is this? Shield. Yeah, I know the shield menu. Cool, we can get a rig now. Let's build power. I think we need more power. And then we'll get more harvesters while we're at it. Can I get more harvesters? Yes, I can. Alright, we need more base defenses. Running out of money again. Chase Baker says, for all the faults of his book, DiCandido's writing style does really work with space sci-fi like Star Trek. I recommend those books for any Star Trek fan out there, especially the IKS Scorpion book. See, that's what I was saying. I feel like he probably just wasn't familiar with CNC, if I had to guess. I assume the rest of his books are good, because he's from what I looked up, he's a pretty prolific writer for tie-in books. And I would assume they wouldn't keep giving him jobs if he wasn't good at it. Like, I assume EALA is, like, lax with stuff and doesn't really care about the IP, but I'm assuming... Oh, I do have to destroy the SAM sites. Okay, well then let's go get them. I'm assuming that means... you know, Star Trek and whoever owns that IP would probably care. A lot of good anti-air. Let's get back over here. I need the shield maiden. I need more shield maidens. And I can't get a shield maiden because I require a specialist pod.
The comms rig can coordinate other units through local comms for improved vision and rate of fire. It can also lay mines. Use the comms rigs to prepare for enemy assault.
What does it want me to do? Build more comms rigs? Okay. I will get to that when I can. Yeah, I know there's insufficient funds. I can't even build my harvesters. Let's get you guys back over here to get repaired.
Unit ready. Caution, enemy units approaching.
Oh yeah, don't I know it. You know, it's really helpful to tell me enemy units are approaching, but not tell me from where. Arbiter says, curse like Doom and say frag. There you go. Yeah, these shield mains do amazing work. Like, it's... Look at the range on that. That's insane. That's some good range. Also, these... Oh, I forgot. There's no drones in the vehicle bay. You need a repair center. I guess they're trying to go old school.
Structure upgraded.
You guys have defensive stuff on, right? I don't want you going elsewhere. Anyway, Dragdoon BT says, hi, stumbled upon your Tiberium Wars video, and I'm here. Good to have you. I appreciate that. The Tiberium Wars video is one of those I'm really proud of. There's definitely some videos I feel like I rushed. Like my Cabal AI video. That one was just trying to get over the $100 threshold. I wish I put more work into that. To be honest, I'm going to make a full-on Tiberium Sun Firestorm video at some point. That was just kind of my thoughts on AI and how Westwood's take on AI worked in that game. Alright, so what am I doing with this guy? I'm doing here? To lay mines. I forgot they could lay mines. I guess go back here and... No, don't do that now. Don't do that now. There you go. Okay, let's go into comms mode. There we go. And we'll keep doing that. Let's drop those mines. Zeptages says, Kevin J. Anderson is a similar kind of writer, but with tie-ins for X-Files and Star Wars, but his Dune novels are probably the same level as the Tiberium novel. I guess people just have things that they're good at and things that they aren't, you know?
Vehicle reporting.
Where's the other one? Here you go. Let me save again. I don't want to have to do that. The save system in this is better than the remastered collection, if I'm being honest. It's so good. Chase Baker says, discussing Star Trek is a whole can of worms. Paramount owns Star Trek and the level of care is... Yeah, I've heard that. I've recently tried to get into Star Trek because I have a friend who's, like, really into it, and I trust his judgment. No, don't do that. Come on. It's definitely been hard. I tried getting into the original series. Those first couple episodes are very weird. Same thing with TNG. It was just... I think most people who love TNG agree that, like, that first season or two is a little rough before it hits its stride.
Caution. Enemy units approaching.
Yes, I figured. Alright, where's the Shield Maiden? Okay, I need a Shield Maiden, a couple more of those, and then we'll send those in. Then we'll go destroy those same sites. Oh, we're finally getting some money. Isn't that wonderful? Let's get more defenses. But... honestly, the Star Trek show that I'm really actually vibing with, weirdly enough, is Enterprise. The newest one they had in the 2000s before they kind of went on hiatus for the new batch of Star Wars shows. I'm sorry, Star Trek shows. I actually really like it. I know that's the one that everyone kind of likes the least of the original batch of shows, but I like just how relatable everybody is, how they're a lot more human, they make a lot more mistakes. It's a lot closer to the world that I know of humanity before they go like super utopian. And I don't know, it's just I really like the characters. I like how relatable they are. So I'm probably going to finish Enterprise and then try and go back and do Next Generation and the original series. Deep Space Nine is another one that really interests me, that I really want to get into, but I know there's kind of an order to do things, and I really shouldn't watch Deep Space Nine before I watch TNG. And chronologically, Enterprise comes first, so I figure if all the shows to do out of order, Enterprise is not a bad one to start with. Ooh, we already need silos. Now you know we're doing well. We're actually not getting hit very hard. Okay. Cyborg Merc. Shield Maiden can deploy repair turrets. Good to know. The Gringuish says, please talk about GLA at some point. I'll probably talk about generals at some point, and I'll touch on the GLA. I don't know if I could devote an entire video essay just to the GLA. I mean, what is there really to talk about? They're basically a pastiche of every Middle Eastern terror group from the 2000s. I don't think there's a lot of really to mine there, aside from a general video. The Gringo says, love your channel. Fan of Command & Conquer since the age of 6 in 1999. Oh, nice. Yeah, no, that's what this channel is for. It's basically to make people who grew up playing this game feel like they have a place of people who are equally as passionate. I hope you'll like the Tiberium Dawn not video essay. I've already done that. Does this include the shield? It doesn't. Yeah, I'll get the silos. I'll get you silos. I hope you appreciate the documentary that's coming out. It's definitely taking longer and more intense than I thought it would, but hopefully it really becomes worth it. Chase Baker says, Enterprise, heck yeah, Season 3 is my favorite. I've heard Season 3 gets really good. So, where's my shield bands? There you go. Get over here. I'm gonna need more of these. Nope. Can you kill this guy? There you go, shield maidens. Shield maidens. Tanks. Dang, the Tempest is really doing a number on my tanks. I just want to get to the anti-air. We're gonna have to build even don't think I can run over those guys. Cybermexic, Star Trek 2 Utopian for my taste. Yeah, that's generally been my problem with it. Again, not in an objective sense. It's a taste thing. But it was just kind of hard for me to get into with something that... Guys, just move. Fine, if we're all going to die, just at least take this out. You guys go home. I don't think we're going to get it in time. Yeah, but I think that's why I like Enterprise so much, because the humans are a bit more flawed in that one, and I really vibe with that. Save. Big Smile says TNG is one of my favorite. Yeah, that is the big one everyone likes. The Gringwich says, yes, they're very interesting. Warhawk Rambo says, when I heard the name DeCandido, I thought of the late Chris Candido. May he rest in peace. A wrestler gone far too young, who's only 33. I'm not big into wrestling. The D-Train, who I frequently collaborate with, he's a big WWE fan. Zaptasia says, Star Trek always felt too pulpy to me. What do you mean by too pulpy? Greenwich says, they are basically jihadists, but with a secular, more insurrectional anarchist twist is really cool, and it implies other branches like Nodwood, South America, East Asia. Yeah. If they ever made a Generals 2, I heard that they were going to plan to make the GLA more global and do more stuff beyond the Middle East, which would have been cool to see, definitely. It's a shame we never got to see that. Shock Combo says, Shield Maidens can deploy repaired nodes. Will keep the tanks alive. I hate secondary stuff. I guess Z has a hotkey, but it's definitely hard for me to, like, control all that. I know that was a big thing because StarCraft started doing that, and so every RTS felt like they needed that, but it's so micro-intensive. I want a simpler RTS, you know? Red Alert 3 had that a lot too. I guess Tiberium Wars also did, but they just never felt like intensively necessary. Not to me, anyway. Let's get more laser turrets here. Chase Baker says, I recommend for new watchers to find Star Trek that works for them and to go into other shows once their investment is set. There is no one greatest of all time Star Trek. Each has their own value. Fair enough. I'll probably stay away from the newer shows, though. Those don't really feel like they would appeal to me. I like how slow the older Star Trek shows are. I like that it's more deliberate. It's a little more of a thinking man's thing. From what I've gathered, and maybe this is just a marketing problem, the newer Star Trek shows just feel like they're kind of built for like a millennial audience, an audience that has a much shorter attention span. And I don't need more of that in my life, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it. There we go. Okay. Shock Combo says, Riot Vans with drone ops and then do well for this mission as well. Well, I guess we'll get the Riot Pod then while we're at it, because we can get both. We don't have to choose. Must choose. I have the power to save the one you love. So David says, DS9 is my favorite Star Trek series, but I recently watched Babylon 5, and I can't believe I haven't watched sooner. I really want to watch Babylon 5 with Mrs. Snowman. We both said we were going to get around to watching that at some point. Neither of us have ever seen that show, but I really want to get into it. Here we go. Here we go. Machine gun. Machine gun him. Let's go. Oh, hey. Let's grab the money. Oh, additional silos required, you say? Can do. I like how they added the tabs from, like, Red Alert 2. That was a good call. Alright, we're close. Zaptagus is pulpy like those cheap Pulp Fiction magazines from the early to mid-19th century. Gotcha. I think especially early Star Trek feels like that. Alright, let's back up, guys. We'll come back when we have something that's better at cracking. We're definitely going to need more anti-infantry stuff. But I'm also going to want carries infantry and wields an anti-infantry cannon. Oh, that sounds extra good. I need anti-infantry. It's funny. Loot Danger really made it sound like I was going to get, like, attacked in waves. Maybe once I destroy the SAM sites, it'll really hit. So I'll keep building base defenses.
Unit is under attack.
I know. Got lasers. That's what they're for.
Caution. Enemy units approaching.
You're an enemy unit approaching.
Yes, sir.
Oh, here we go. Interesting. We're gonna need more lasers over here. That's for sure. Yeah, laser. How come you don't have a laser, Woody? Rocket Head says, me reinstalling Battle for Middle-earth. Yeah, does anybody know of a good way to play? Because I think there's, like, licensing issues and stuff, so, like, I don't think it's available on any online store now. Is there any easy way to, like, download that and play it on modern computers? Because I would love to play Battle for Middle-earth. I'm not going to say I'm a hardcore Middle-earth fan, but I do enjoy the Tolkien movies. I've read The Hobbit. I haven't read the books yet. I really want to get around to doing that. I love the world. I spent a lot of time listening to video essays about the Silmarillion and the history because I think the world building of Tolkien's world is fantastic and might be my favorite aspect of that world. But obviously an EALA that was made up of some Westwood guys making an RTS based on Middle-earth sounds right up my alley, but I haven't found a good way to play it. Flat Track, good to see you here. He is a big artist on the documentary, so give him his props. He's doing a lot of great work for us. TNG is a nice comfort show. Stick it on and watch a familiar cast of characters solve a problem a week. That's what I've heard. It's not really serialized storytelling. The characters don't change a ton over the course of the show because it was from an earlier time of TV where like they couldn't expect everybody to like catch on in every single episode. But I hear like it's very comfortable. It's very cozy. And the clips I've seen on YouTube, I do really enjoy the characters. Like Riker is amazing. Love that guy. Especially just the actor who plays him. I can't remember the name of the actor, but he did voice role on the Gargoyles Disney show. That was fantastic playing David Xanatos. Fantastic actor. Chase Baker, Lower Decks is my favorite. It venerates and denigrates this franchise I love. Some references cut so deep that I had to look them up, which make them look even more. Yeah, Lower Decks was something that I didn't really want to get into because it looked like a Rick and Morty ripoff. But if you say it's got some good stuff, maybe I'll check it out at some point. Probably after I'm like actually a Star Trek fan, so I can actually enjoy some of the parody elements. All right, what do we got here? Suppression system. Activate the suppression system to stun infantry.
Caution. Enemy units approaching.
Okay, cool, interesting. What else does it do? Anti-infantry cannon. Okay, good to know. Once we finish this, we'll go and hit him again.
Unit ready.
Here we go. Okay. Septagius. Don't think I've edge-scrolled in an RTS since Red Alert 1. Oh, doing this? Yeah, everybody keeps talking about a different way of scrolling and that, like, you can't have a proper new RTS without, like, I think it's called middle wheel scrolling or something like that. I've always done edge scrolling. I've never heard of anything else. But they say once you learn it, you never go back. So, I don't know, man. I just like things simple. I'm a simple man. I don't need to optimize things. I just want to play the game and enjoy stuff. I feel like a lot of new indie RTSs try too hard to be like good in a competitive scene when I think immersion is the most important thing you can do. I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong. I'd love your opinion. You playing difficulty level normal? I am. I play most games on normal. I don't feel the need to challenge myself unless I'm on a second playthrough. Like Red Alert 1, I have played through all the Red Alert 1 missions in both campaigns on hard difficulty because I enjoy that game so much. That was my first CNC. Keyboard scrolling, huh? You can do keyboard scrolling? Rockethead says there's a free launcher with all 3 games called the All-in-One Launcher. I'm gonna have to look that up because that sounds amazing. Warhawk Rambo, gaming is supposed to be fun, not stressful. Exactly. That's why I could never get into From Software games or anything like that. It just, I play games to relax and be immersed, you know? Like, even things like Red Dead Redemption 2, people have said, like, oh, it doesn't really do anything new or do anything innovative. It's, like, fair, but, like, it gives me a great experience, so I don't really care too much. Destroy the barrels! Why do you have fuel barrels next to all your important structures? Here we go. Oh, kill it. Where's my shield maidens? Why do they not travel along unless there's an anti-air unit? This is so stupid. Kill the bunker. And the pillager. Pillager? That's really what it's called? Give me Minecraft vibes. Alright, can you, like... Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. Alright, let's build some more. We got the money, we might as well. I like how the barrels of the tanks get really hot when they're firing. There's a little, like... It's just, it's good. Like, I know graphics aren't everything, and this game kind of went for graphics, and kind of in the mold of CNC3. But, like, I don't know. I like it. I like it. If you're gonna go with the graphics route, do it well. And I feel like they did. Where are my shield? Holy crap, guys. If you're not gonna come along... then what are we doing here? Thank you. Okay. So David says, literally playing the same game right now, edge-scrolling like I did when I played CNC Dawn. Yeah, man. It is what it is. Flaktrek says, yeah, scroll with WASD. Yeah, that's not working here. Maybe there's a way to, like, change that in the settings, but right now the game's not set up for that. Let's go. Okay. We're doing good. We're doing good. Chase Baker says, Jonathan Frakes. There we go. Jonathan Frakes. That was just blanking. He's the actor for William Riker and the voice for David Santos in Gargoyles. He's also the actor for the endlessly memeable Fact or Fiction. Yes. I love that. I don't think I've ever actually seen that show. Like, I was the right generation, I think, to watch that when it was in its heyday. But I've only ever seen it on YouTube clips and all the memes. It's just hilarious.
Ready to roll.
What are you doing?
Anywhere you say. Standing by. Affirmative.
Jonathan Frakes is a national treasure.
Target spotted.
Unless he's done some horrible things that I don't know about. In which case I disavow. I feel like that's the way it is with any sort of parasocial relationship you have online. You kind of just have to be like, yes, I love this content creator, I love this stuff. Unless, like, in the future, allegations prove that Mr. Snowman was actually an awful person, in which case I disavow him and I never liked him. Like, people act like if you supported somebody out of ignorance that, like, oh, I can't believe you supported this guy. Like, well, you didn't know. Nobody knows anybody. Like, that's the real truth. Like, none of you people actually know. Like, if I turn out to be a jerk someday, nobody would, like, fault you for having supported me out of ignorance. Like, that's ridiculous. Nobody can hold that against you. Oh, thank you, David. Oh. The internet is so freaking weird. I don't think humans were really meant to, like, engage in the way that we engage. Just not being able to understand our place, how we're supposed to talk with people that we can't see through a screen.
Additional silos required.
No, what you really mean is not enough turrets. Oh, I can't build any more than 5? Fine. Alright, at least we destroyed this area. It looks like the map is supposed to expand. I've played these games before. I know what's up. Alright, let's build some more power. Yeah. Can't build more than 2? Okay. Oh, fair enough. Alright, where's my... Yeah, let's do you. Can you build... Shit. There we go. Let's explore this area real quick before we move on. Oh, more money. Money! Oh. Okay, I think that's everything. Alright, we'll move up.
Caution. Enemy units approaching.
You got it. Snowman 9. Okay. Chase Baker. I need more power plants. Chase Baker says, Jonathan directed my favorite space horror movie, Star Trek First Contact. That's right. Jonathan Frakes did a lot of directing as well, and I hear that's kind of what he wanted to get into, is more directing. He kind of had problems being able to do that. Where's my shield maidens?
Unit ready. Target is under attack. Construction complete. Constructing.
There we go. We're really starting to get this now.
Ready to support.
Alright, let's move up and out.
Yes, command.
Proceeding.
Proceeding.
So I'm curious for you guys, like, I think since reading the novel, I have really kind of wanted to know what would be your guys' like
Overcross reporting.
most wanted like
Construction complete.
extra like expanded universe media for CNC. Like, let's dream a little bit. Let's say that, you know, EA allowed for like as broad and as sweeping of narratives and extra material as, say, like Star Wars is or was. What would you guys want? Are we talking graphic novels? Are we talking more books? Are we talking, you know, more video games and other genres? Like, what kind of expanded media would you want? Because I think for me, one of the things I've noticed in the community is that there's not a lot of... I ran out of money. Oh, that's weird. Alright, let's give you guys...
Shield maiden standing by.
Like, there's a lot of mods as far as, like, new material for CNC. There's not a lot of anything else. Maybe there's like, a really, like, big fanfic scene that I'm just not aware of. Warhawk Rainbow says, First Contact is my second favorite Star Trek film after Wrath of Khan. I've heard great things about Wrath of Khan. Riot suppression. Let's get ourselves some more money.
Targeting system ready to support. Shield maidens. Targeting systems ready to support. Watching the skies. I'll take 'em. Keep with me.
Did it.
Good work, Commander. With the SAMs down, you can now build an air control tower. Scopes is picking up more SAMs ahead. Take those out, and we can regain control of the city. Get a sky crane in the air to transport your forces, and clear the rest of those sites.
Sky Crane.
Caution. Enemy units approaching.
Receiving.
Thank you.
Targeting systems online.
Alright, let's get you guys back up here. Somebody up there is attacking me. Whoop, look at those lasers. That's what I like to see. Lasers actually attacking air units as well. Air control tower, okay. Sure, we'll flop one over here. I'm not a huge fan of the air units in this game, just because a lot of them are helicopters or hover or VTOLs that just kind of sit there and they don't ever have to return, for the most part, back to their air pad. I know that makes things more convenient, but it also just makes them feel more like flying ground units. I want my air units to actually feel like air units. I think that's why Generals has my like favorite version of air power of any in the series, or really any RTS, because it feels like an Air Force. It actually fires horizontally. Okay, here we go. Blah, 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 blah. Cyborg Mech says FPS taking place in Tiberium Sun. That would be sick. Org Luzman says, your sound is kind of low. I know, it's not a lot I can do about it. I've been trying to fix this for a while, but I don't know what happened to my mic. Like, it was doing just fine. I think it's because I got an update to OBS and it messed with all my settings. But, like, it just really messed up my whole system. And it's kind of done the same thing to, like, my video essays as well. I've been having to, like, work with a lot of different settings to make that work, and it just kind of sucks. I'm increasing the gain again. Let me know if that's better. Septages, just the kind of extra world building like in your documentary, pretty much. Yeah, I'd like that too. I would love it if anybody made a mod of like previous Command & Conquer games and just added a bunch of intelligence database articles you could unlock. That would be fantastic. Oh, produce a sky carrier crane. Huh. Okay. Sure. Like 4 of those. I guess they want me to carry them over the cliff? Or, I guess that makes sense. Weird. Bubba's Big Blast says, I'd want an explanation of why the screen never did anything. I don't know what you mean. Hello, Orc.
Caution. Enemy units approaching.
Yeah, I know they are. Bubba's Big Blast says, like maybe some Nod soldiers ended up in the Skrin Towers and went on a Tiberium bomb rampage on other worlds. I don't think Kane would let them do that.
Unit ready.
Flag Track, maybe an open world FPS game similar to what's happening.
Commander, load infantry and vehicles into the sky crane for transport.
Alright, you say so.
Units under attack. Unit lost.
What are you gonna do? My base defenses are impenetrable. Impenetrable! Alright, let's get you guys up here.
Understood. Standing by for an escort.
Okay.
Unit ready.
Flag Track says maybe an open world FPS game like Stalker or Fallout set in a Tiberium Yellow Zone. We can see that. That would be really cool. I feel like there would be a lot of interesting ideas for storytelling as well if we did it that way.
Your orders? Shield maiden standing by. Dropping repair pod.
Our base is under attack.
Yeah, but not very well. Okay. Alex Basadze, an extra media, renegade-like FPS time period between Tiberium Dawn, Tiberium Sun, and more stuff set in Tiberium Sun. Atmosphere is the best. Yeah, I would love getting
Keep with me.
getting more about the world deteriorating, the nations kind of being removed, and it becoming what it is in Tiberium Sun. I feel like that time period in between Dawn and Sun is definitely underused. Bubba said, air units are just really hard to balance in fairness. It's why StarCraft also did the flying ground units thing. Yeah, I'm not saying it can't be done well. I feel like if you're gonna be the flying ground units thing, I don't want that much variety in them. Like the early CNCs. I want there to be just like a few of them. Chase Baker, I do like the book expansions, though for CNC I think they should keep the commander godlike, far from the battlefield, while the narrative perspective is from the grunts, frontline officers, and commandos. I agree. Okay.
Additional silos required.
No, you just don't have enough tanks. How much can these things carry? Just 2? Okay. Well, screw that then. Make more of these. Yeah, I'm gonna need more of those. I can barely carry any. That's insane. Especially with how expensive these things are. The Chinooks and Generals were like a dime a dozen. These things cost $2,000.
Understood. Carrier report. Moving to LC.
I guess we'll do this in turns, but crikey. I feel like I'm just gonna get swamped as soon as I land.
Unit ready.
Ugh. Bubba, yeah, but few but powerful air units seems the better method. I agree. I don't want a huge variety, especially when you just start an RTS. It was kind of overwhelming with all the different units and figuring out what they did.
Enemy units approaching.
So being able to just be like, oh, yeah, I get... don't... Get over here, get over here, get over here. Get over here. Thank you. Better.
Carrier reporting. Ready to pick up. Vehicle reporting. Losing ground.
These don't even land, they just jump in. I guess that's quicker, but I kind of miss them actually landing. I feel like that would be cooler if you had that.
Ready.
Ugh.
Carrier report.
Keep making more. We gotta get you guys all over here. Flag track. Air units as a call-in powers can work well as in Company of Heroes. I still need to play Company of Heroes. I hear it's really good. It's not quite up my alley because I don't think there's like traditional base building, but like I hear it's good. Get in. Does make transporting easier and loading and unloading, I guess. Zeptages. I really like how they did the aircraft in active war direct action. You could build structures that grant 3 slots for aircraft, and then you call them in from off screen like a support power. I need to play active war. Everybody tells me that if I like generals, I'll like active war. But that does sound interesting. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, air power is just too much to figure out. In addition to trying, like, when you play a brand new RTS and you have to figure out all these new units and what they're good at and what they actually are, and it's not always intuitive from the name or the logo what they're supposed to do. So it definitely is one of those things where if you add to that a big suite of aerial units, it can be really hard to figure out what they're good at, and then I just end up not using them because they end up being redundant. And a lot of games have a lot of anti-air now, so they don't end up getting much of an advantage for being in the air when I can just use a ground force. So at the end of the day, I just end up not using them, and I think that's a shame. So limiting them somehow by making them like very powerful, but they're called by support powers, or you can make a limited number of them, or there's just very few types, or what have you, I think is really good. Like in generals, a lot of the best air units come from generals powers, and I think that's fantastic because then you get the full suite of feeling like you're immersed in what the American military can do from an Air Force point of view, because America does have an incredibly powerful Air Force, without making it something that you can build as many of them as you want and making it feel just like insanely unbalanced. Hello. Get suppressed. That is super useful. Right. Get in. Almost there, guys. Chase Baker says, can a Chinook carry 2 vehicles that are also full of dudes? It can carry 2 vehicles and I think 2 or 3 more dudes. Bubba says, there's traditional base building in Company of Heroes 1, but not in 2 and sort of in 3. Wow, they backed off from base building in a sequel? That feels like a downgrade. I mean, unless it works and streamlines it in some way, I'm not seeing. Blacktrack says there is base building company heroes, but it's a bit more limited compared to CNC. It has more of a focus on unit tactics, cover flanking, etc. Yeah, that's kind of the way that Iron Harvest was as well. It was a lot more focused on like unit positioning. I've never really liked that. I kind of just like throwing a bunch of tanks at the enemy and watching them duke it out. Like most of the strategy is done in figuring out unit composition beforehand. Once you go to attack, I like it to be pretty simple. That being said, I mean, I'm open to new experiences. Maybe it's super fun in Company of Heroes. But, like, that was kind of the reason why I bounced off Iron Harvest, even though I love that world and I love even the story. It was just kind of hard for me to get into. I might come back to it later and try and beat Iron Harvest because I did enjoy it for what it was. But that was definitely kind of a barrier of entry for me. And that's something that I think people have talked about before. The idea that RTSs are not streamlined the way FPSs are. There are some differences in FPSs, like a Halo FPS is definitely going to be very different from a Call of Duty FPS. One lets you really like aim down your sights, another one doesn't. One of them is much more focused on like low time to kill, one high time to kill. So like there are differences in FPSs, but a lot of the basics are locked in stone as far as like WSD, crouching, sprinting. Like for the most part, you played one FPS, you know how to play every other FPS. RTS is not that streamlined. I think StarCraft and Command & Conquer have enough similarities that you can kind of figure things out pretty simply. Why is it not going? Oh, population full. Oh, that's interesting. A little bit of Age of Empires in here.
Caution. Enemy units approaching.
All right, let's do this, guys. This is gonna have to be good enough. But yeah, I feel like things need to be streamlined a little bit more when it comes to new and RTSs. I don't think people necessarily want something new and innovative. They want something familiar. And if you are going to innovate, you have to innovate within the bounds of what people actually want. And granted, it's very hard to figure out what they actually want, but I'm just saying. Alright. Unload. Alright. Alright, let's hope that works.
How are we, Command? Captain Hayes, comms officer reporting in. Let me know where you need me.
Alright, we have more SAM sites to destroy. Oh look, they gave us more. Yay. Alright, let's see if we can do this without losing too much. Shot Combo, welcome back. I believe you actually helped work on this game, right? Glad we finally getting around to playing. And that is one of the best things I can say about Tempest Rising, is I think it gets that it needed to be familiar to anybody who's played CNC. Like, there are some new things like the marking, the comms, the intelligence stuff, and some of the other secondary abilities, like I said, that are a little hard to understand at first. But everything, as far as basics go, are things that are very easy to understand. You build a power plant, that gives you power. You know, you build a barracks, you build a war factory, you got a repair center. Like, everything is intuitive as far as how I'm supposed to play the game. There's not like this weird, oh, we're going to make this completely different from how you normally play an RTS, and you have to learn something brand new for this to work. Like, I get it. When I'm losing, I understand why I'm losing. It's like, oh, okay, I didn't build the right unit composition.
Enemy units approaching.
You know, oh, there's a lot of infantry attacking me. I need machine gunners. I need something that's good against that. Like, it's pretty simple. Get the shield maidens up here. Why don't they come along? Please come along. Oh gosh, there's a lot of them. Alright, let's see what we can do here. We're now losing a bunch of people, so... Oh, I forgot to build rigs. That's what I usually do in the skirmishes. I usually do that. Alright, just run back. I'm used to building the rigs and having them really help out. I forgot to do that.
Understood.
Specialist under attack.
Comms officer. Too easy. Ready for pickup. Disengage. Acknowledge.
Alright, this should hold them off for now until I can build a bigger force. Shot Combo says, I like Tibson-style bombers, moving and bombing and transport. It's higher flying, cool drop ships. Yeah. Prism Tanker says, an active war vehicles do have a certain weight to it. Shot Combo says, Banshee style for attack aircraft. Yeah, I love the Banshees. The Banshees were fantastic. Alright, let's get you guys over here.
Caution. Enemy units approaching.
I'm aware. Build more houses. Exactly.
Unit ready.
It is interesting how the Tempest work opposite from Tiberium. Like, the Tempest are bad against vehicles, and infantry are fine. I think that's a fun inversion. Chase Baker, Snowman being the wise man on the mountain about his RTS enjoyers. What do you mean, wise man on the mountain? What am I saying that's, like, actually anything new or anything, like, useful that anybody actually cares about? Like, I don't think I'm saying anything super profound. I'm just kind of just saying my opinion. Shot Combo says, yes, I nerfed this mission. What does that mean? Was this mission considered? Because I kept hearing that this mission was, like, super hard, and it's not that bad. Did this mission used to be harder? Did this get nerfed and patched due to, like, fan outcry? Bohemian Movac says, I was thinking yesterday, there's a connection between Tempest Rising and Tiberium Sun in both games as the Temple of Thunder. I have not come across the Temple of Thunder yet. Or Gluesman, you don't even know how humid it is right now where I live in Israel. It was returning from a birthday. Yeah, it's pretty miserable here where I am too, as far as the heat goes. Probably not as bad as you, because at least I don't think we have that bad of humidity right now. Alright, get us some heat. Ugh. Can you build another war factory and make this go a little faster?
Constructing.
No. Sell.
Caution. Enemy units approaching.
Luke Danger. Hey, Snowman. Just stopping in since I'm pretty busy today. Yeah. No, we missed you. But thanks for stopping by. No worries. These things happen. Septagus. Also, the archaeologist says the hieroglyphics on this temple read in both games. Ha! Little Firestorm reference.
Cleared maiden standing by. Dropping repair pods. Hovercraft reporting.
Unit ready.
Repair pods deployed.
Okay. We're definitely going to need more tanks. We don't need any more shield maidens.
Silos required.
No, what you need is more tanks.
Training.
There. After that, we should be good enough. Orglusm says, by the way, I voted for Red Alert 3. Oh, in terms of, like, the next video essay to work on? I do want to do a video essay on Red Alert 3 at some point. I feel like I have a lot to say about it. Luke Danger. Maybe matchsticks used to be slagging brutal on attacking, though if you set up your laser turrets well enough, you probably zap them using helped a lot of second playthrough. Yeah, I did put a lot of laser defenses. They're like the best defense in this game.
Unit ready.
Luke Danger. Or you're just using more shield maidens than I did. Perhaps. Perhaps I did. Shot Combo. Yes, this one had way too many matchsticks and away from the map west, which was annoying.
Under attack.
Oh, interesting.
Ready for pickup.
Unit ready.
Dropping repair pods.
Okay. Yeah, Red Alert 3 is interesting to me because it's one of those games where I really don't like the world building, and story is just kind of eh.
Caution. Enemy units
And it misses a lot of the desperation and the more serious elements that I liked even from Red Alert 2 that, you know, I guess really started in Yuri's Revenge. But even Yuri's Revenge had a sense of desperation to it that I liked. Red Alert 3, everything kind of seemed like everyone was having fun. Like, the very first mission in the Allied campaign is the Soviets on the very beaches of, you know, Britain. Nobody acts like it's that big of a deal, when that was, like, the end of the Soviet campaign of Red Alert 1, and that was a huge deal. So, it just kind of bugs me how that's something that nobody really takes seriously. But, putting all of that aside, Red Alert 3 might have some of my most favorite gameplay elements and mechanics of any CNC in the EALA era. Like, it's that much fun to me. I love playing skirmish in Red Alert 3. I love playing co-op in the missions with the D-Train. Like, it's a ton of fun. And it's very hard not to have a lot of fun with the gameplay mechanics of Red Alert 3. I wish that the gameplay mechanics of Red Alert 3 had a better world, story, and maybe even art style, although I do kind of like the art style for what it is, than what it's in. It's just, I really don't like the idea of, oh, let's get rid of Einstein and then make everything in Red Alert 2 kind of just nuked and not matter. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Alright, why are we not? Oh, we're at the limit. Okay, let's go then.
Ready to roll. Away we go. Heading in. Carry
Loading and unloading, though, is very easy.
Standing by. Sentinel here. Sky. Caution. Enemy units approaching. On approach. Comms ring. Unit is under attack. Away we go. Keep with me. Yes, command.
What are you doing over there, buddy?
Not a problem. Line that. Roger, command. Standing by for Nisco. Our base is under attack.
This is definitely tedious to have to, like, get everything over, but...
Watching the skies. Repair mode deployed. Commander. Our base is under attack. Receiving.
And one more.
Ready for pickup. Keeping us steady.
Okay. Let's get you guys in. And we're good to go. Can you just run over?
Roll out. Acknowledged.
Thank you.
Targeting systems online.
Save. Let's see, what do people say? Luke Danger. Yeah, laser turrets with the right armory, doctrine perks are essentially the only base CAC you need. Chase Baker. Also in RE3, it took 7 missions to conquer the other 2 superpowers. Yeah, it felt really short. I don't know if that was just because there's more factions, so you have to deal with them quicker, just based off of how many missions you have to deal with each opposing faction, but it felt short. It felt a little rushed. Whereas, and I guess I'm used to Red Alert 1, where you really take your time pushing back the Soviets. Even Red Alert 2, I think, took its time pushing back the Soviets from the U.S. Come on. Unload. There you go. Alright, can we... Is there a way to undo all of these so I can start from scratch? Alright.
Commander?
Let's have you guys be 1.
Shield maiden standing by.
And then we're going to have you guys
Hourglass reporting.
at least
Targeting systems
3.
online.
No, I just need... No, I don't do that. Is there another? Okay, I'm just trying to see. Alright, let's go.
Caution. Enemy units approaching.
Here we go. I don't like how whenever you group units, it doesn't undo other groups. So I'm stuck with them all mixed together. Maybe there's a way to undo groups, but it's not telling me how to do it.
Taking new position. Ready to support. Yeah.
Alright, here we go.
Of course. Linking up. Unit is under attack. Too easy. Watching the skies.
rid of him. Come on. There we go. Move, 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 move. Destroy it. Can you, guys, what is wrong with you? Just destroy. It's not that far. Holy crap, what are you guys doing? Oh my gosh, are you guys serious? Why is this taking so much?
Caution. Enemy units approaching.
Okay, move. Just get over here and destroy this. Why are you going all the way around? What is your problem? This works. Just be meat shields. Just have to be meat shields for a little longer.
Specialist under attack.
That'll do it. That'll do it. That'll do it. Come on. No, 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 no. There you go.
Great job. That's the last of them. Now get your troops back and hold the fort. I've got air support en route.
What? What's there's no forces left to get back. I don't know what you're talking about.
Unit is under attack. Unit lost.
What? Hold out till air support arrives. Alright, I don't think that'll be too hard. Now, why did I jinx that?
Caution. Enemy units approaching.
Lasers! What can you do against lasers? You can do nothing. Nothing against the lasers. I'm really sorry if there's any Germans in the chat. I apologize. That was uncalled for. Gone.
Our base is of
I like the way that the whoa. Building. Oh, hello.
constructing. Unit lost.
Look at that.
Our base is under
Alright, we'll take you guys home.
unit lost.
Here come the infantry.
Unit ready.
I love the way that the base defenses are designed in this game. The way that, like, the lasers are anti-air, but also anti-vehicle. I like that they're not strictly locked to, like, anti-infantry, anti-air, whatever. Like, there's some variety.
Enemy units approaching.
Eyes on target. We'll take it from here.
Oh, those are some cool air units. There we go. Very cool. Way to go. Victory. We did it, folks. Let me check the chat for a bit. Ugh. Luke Danger says, and then they completely ignored the Einstein premise by just renaming Prism Towers and didn't even rename the Chronosphere the Mirage Tanks. If anything, they used the Chronosphere more. Yeah, they kind of wanted to have their cake and eat it too. Cyborg Merc says, not having Einstein somehow caused Super Japanese Empire into existence. Luke Danger, honestly, I'd love to do a version of RA3 that actually revamps the Allies without the Einstein tech, so that the huge chunk of the roster lost. So what is the Allied ID after that? Yeah, I don't think they needed to remove Einstein to get what they needed. I know some of the in-universe reason was that they wanted to add the Japanese, but they didn't want to have the Soviets nuke them because Japan is the only nation in actual real-world history to ever been nuked in wartime. But, like, you got rid of all the Allied nukes from RA1 by using Yuri to mind control and have them all explode in their silos. So you could have done something similar with the Soviets. I'm just saying. Orglisman says, Tim Curry changed the timeline and created anime. Let's see. So David says, I'm split on the group thing. I really could be useful to have, but annoying when you expect the other behavior. Yeah. Luke Danger, what are you guys doing? Not their best, apparently. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just not as good at the micro. I need to get better at the micro for this game. Let's see. Or Guzman, active war direct actions. What CNC was Tom Clancy style modern warfare, techno thrillers and futurism. Yeah, I gotta check out active war. Flak Track. I like that they used regional accents for the units. The air units at the end sounded Scouse, Liverpool accent. Yeah, I like that too. That is one thing also I really liked about Red Alert 3 is that it gave a lot more variety to the voice. So it really felt like an allied force with a lot of nations all over NATO. I felt like that was really cool. RA2, as much as I love RA2, was very American-centric for the Allies. And I like that in RA1 it was very European-centric. I just feel like if you're going to do American, then we have that for generals. I feel like GDI, and especially the Allies, need to be a little more, like, feel like they come from several different nations. Which is what we tried to do with the documentary. Anybody who is contributing to the documentary as a voice actor who knew, like, a second language, we tried to encourage them, like, hey, throw in a few extra words of, like, your language in amidst all the English. And we're actually writing a scene now with our 2 Swedish voice actors, including Zeptages, that's going to have, like, a full-on conversation in Swedish between a Nod soldier and a GDI soldier after the Battle of Sarajevo. So I hope you guys will enjoy that. Prism Tanker. Cryotech. Prism Tech could be another form of capture Tesla technology. Yeah. Emperor Tyrannicus. I understand why not wanting to have nukes because of the Empire, but I did miss my Soviet nukes. Yeah, again, I feel like that's not a big problem. I just didn't think they needed to remove Einstein to get rid of the nukes. Also, I haven't mentioned the music slaps. Like, top tier. Alright, good. Did I not get my secondary objectives? Okay, let's continue. Kind of looks like they're making a lot of progress. Okay, I guess we're in the Italian Alps. I really don't like that the briefing for the GDF leader is not mandatory, and it could be very easily missed if you're not paying attention.
There you are. The colonel's predisposed, so he sent you my way. He's not one to show it, but it sounds like you've impressed him. You're being sent to the Alps. Scopes has identified a convoy on approach from the east. We have a column of military bunkers dug into the Alps, and it looks like that's what the Dynasty is looking for. Here is where it gets interesting. There's a point where the road turns north briefly to get through the mountains. You're going to set up an ambush. There's a small satellite base up there that you can use to establish a foothold and build up your forces. Scopes is registering 6 blips on the roads to the south of your location. Don't let them through. You've been cleared for use of GDF aircraft to navigate the mountains. You're welcome for that, by the way. Not all ground forces have anti-air capabilities. I think you'll be able to put our aerial units to good use.
It is really interesting that they decided to go with CGI cutscenes and CGI people to do the thing. That must have taken a lot of work. Like, kudos to them for going for that. That is definitely a swing. What are the bunkers for?
These mountain bunkers were excavated shortly before the Third World War. Some of them were even used during. Afterwards, GDF took custody of these bunkers in the Alps, as well as others in the Black Forest, the Apennines, and the Pyrenees. Military command, data centers, science R&D, etc., all deep within the mountains. A formidable natural fortress. The mainstay of GDF Airborne Arsenal is the Peacekeeper Helo. It's outfitted with front-mounted riot suppression anti-infantry weapons, the same as your riot troopers. It trades lethality for crowd control, first slowing infantry, and then disabling their ability to use weapons. The Peacekeeper also possesses anti-air missiles. Once fired, the missiles will gradually rearm in the air or resupply much faster by returning to an air pad.
Interesting, interesting.
The convoys will be approaching from the south, 6 of them coming from 3 roads. They're all headed towards this pass in the north. The Dynasty already has some forces hunkered down in the north that they've managed to sneak through. As long as you don't allow the convoys to resupply them, we'll be able to flush them out. That's not your concern, though. Your job is to stop the convoys.
Okay, will do.
Glad to hear. You know what you're doing? Get to it.
Ha 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 ha.
Get back to work. And while I shouldn't make a personal appeal here, my R&D labs are inside these bunkers. I would appreciate it immensely if you stopped them. Thank you.
Ha, I know what I'm doing. Never been accused of that before. Alright. Easy, normal, hard, insane. I like that. The Empire of the Rising Sun makes no sense, as Japan was defeated without nukes in the CNC timeline, which we know. Japan... I'm not sure what happened in the RA3 timeline. Luke Danger. Ironically, it's not the Peacekeeper that you'll use the most next mission, but the Queller. That sounds fun. Oh yeah, Doctrines. Thank you for reminding me. Alright, what do we got? We have only 1 Doctrine point. That sucks. The beacon and all building sites have 100% additional health. The beacon now lasts twice as long. That's not bad. That's not bad. If you guys have a suggestion, let me know. If marking expires on an enemy unit without it dying, the player gains 1 intel. Boosted comms. I do like boosted comms. I think I need to do boosted comms. Boosted comms is good and leads to upgrade guns. Alright, we'll do boosted comms. Alright. Let's check the armory. Alright, so we have... Can you tell me what this is? Really? I can't just at a glance see what I've already put in there? That's annoying. Alright, so it looks like we've already had laser focused lens, which gives 30% bonus damage, bonus range, which I love. All drones units fire lasers instead of micro missiles. That's pretty good. Being within 500 range of any unit will tag that enemy marked. Oh! Dang, I should have been building more infantry if I equipped that. That's actually really good. Let's go back and see what else we got. I have 2,500 rec. Aircraft armor, bunker busters, rocket weapons, damage units inside of garrisons. That's pretty good. First aid kits. All infantry heal themselves over time. That's pretty good. Luke Danger, if you have any recommendations, let me know. All games sight range, passes all production units, 1 to 20 seconds. Pilot repair train. All vehicles will naturally regain health. That's pretty good. Stolen plans makes the Dynasty 4 tank available from the... What? I could get enemy units? That's crazy. That's kind of cool. That's crazy. Huh. Okay. I think I want that the infantry automatically mark things. I think that would be really, really good. Where was that? Infantry scanner pack. This is a very air-heavy map, so get the upgraded aircraft if you want. Hex steel matchsticks if you want. You have the air tower now, and that's cool. If you want land, Vic Repair is a good one. Okay, I guess we'll come back to that then. So you said aircraft armor. That will probably be pretty good. Let's get that one. Is that not in there? Where did that go? There we go. Oh, that requires 2. Okay. All right, that should do the trick. Zaptages. Tempest Rising kind of feels like me if I had tried to take the scale of CNC3 but transferred the map size of Mecha Manage to RA3. It just feels a bit exhausting to manage at times. I don't know. I'll see how I feel after I've completed both campaigns. But right now, yes, it is kind of overwhelming for me. The micro in the strategy is a little too much. But again, that's just me. So we'll see where we go. Let's deploy.
Large number.
I really like the CGI cutscenes. That's something that games stopped a long time ago, and I'm glad they brought it back.
Okay, this is all I could get you, Commander.
What?
There's a defensible outpost up ahead you can use. Escort the MCV and get your base in line.
Trebuchets!
The coordinates.
Let's freaking go. Alright, what am I supposed to do? Deploy the NPC in the carpet. Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, that's cool. That's actually really cool, especially since MCVs are usually quite, you know, vulnerable. Let's move. Alright, let's do HUC Snowman 1 again. We're back to the beginning. That's where I am. Where I will stay. I will not be moved. Oh, this is fun. Sorry I'm being quiet, I'm just having fun. Alright, let's... Barrels, barrels, barrels. Oh, how do I... That doesn't look good. How am I supposed to get up there? Ah! Shoot. Move, 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 move. Get out of the way. Alright, what am I supposed to do here? Alright, man in the tank able to deploy like a siege tank. Yeah, the design intentions use the riot troopers to shut off their tanks so MCV can crush. Okay, oh, we can deploy these guys. Oh, there's an artillery mode. Oh, I have literally never used that even in even in my skirmish. Can you hit them? This is not. Okay. Guess I gotta get closer. What's going on? Why can't I? Okay, that's weird. I'm not sure why I can't just directly attack something. That seems odd. Also, it's cool that GDF is actually willing to use Tempest in their weapons. It's not like GDI where they're like, no, we're not using that. Oh, that's my base? Yeah, I suppose I should have realized that. Hey guys, just knocking on the door, testing your defenses. Not very good, by the way, so, you know, maybe next time build better defenses. When you guys ever do, like, the, Age of Empires 2 where you make your own maps and scenarios? That was a lot of fun. Okay, let's build some defenses.
Alright, you're going to have to work fast. I'm seeing multiple blips, so expect several convoys on different vectors. There are a lot of twisting paths up in these mountains. It's a lot easier to navigate with aircraft. I'm counting on you, Commander.
Sure. Alright, we're gonna have to build ourselves a blah 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 blah. Where's my air control tower? Needs a vehicle pack.
The enemy convoy will be here any moment. We have to be prepared. It'd be great if we were able to locate enemy outposts. The convoy should pass by at least one of them, and the enemy will receive additional reinforcements. Queller airplane can attack infantry and vehicles with a long-range laser. Sounds like a perfect choice for this mission.
Ooh, Queller. I like Quellers. Anti-ground combat helicopter. Oh, they require specific pads. That's interesting. Interesting. Alright. GDF is less morally upstanding than GDI, but only less. Not without morals. A lot of GDI missions involve protecting the evacuating civilians. Yeah, that was in a lot of the marketing. They would say that, like, oh, this is so that they can show that GDF is not a clone of GDI because they're less morally upstanding, but I don't know. I have yet to see anything truly despicable from GDF. Maybe the goal wasn't to make them, like, despicable, but, you know. What's that accent? Lasers! Ooh, they got machine guns? That's insane. They got machine guns and lasers? That's just broken. Get me more air control tower, guys. I need more of this. Can I not build more? What's going on? Like, what's the deal? Oh, does that require intel? Oh, I didn't have enough money. Sorry if I'm not looking at the chat. It's very hard for me to multitask. This is why in real life I have issues. Oh, looks like you aren't on a timer, so if you want to take your time and build up a Doom fleet of Quellers, once the convoy comes, you're on a time limit for the rest of the mission. That's a really good point. I will do that. I just need more and more. I will never stop building Quellers. This sounds amazing. Also, how's my economy? It doesn't look like I have a lot in that regard, so we're probably also going to want to build more refineries while we're at it, because we need to get our economy rolling. Vivid of Light says, I think they try to make both factions sympathetic in their own ways. Yeah, I'll have to see how that goes. And also they're muscling out on Eastern Europe. Horglisman says, the Empire of the Rising Sun makes no sense. How has Japan defeated without nukes? I don't know what you mean by that. Luke Danger says, the timer will start once you destroy the Dynasty infantry outpost, unless it's changed. Also need to build economy more. Yes, like I said.
Construction complete.
So we'll just wait on that.
Constructing.
We'll try and get some of the Tempest back here.
Units under attack.
The emphasis on drone warfare is interesting. I like that. It's very prescient, given kind of how things are going on in the war in Ukraine. Luke Danger, anyways, I got something coming up. I have to hop off. Good luck and have fun. Thank you, Luke Danger. Always appreciate having you around. Rocket Head. Plenty of fields around the base, just less defended. Yeah, that shouldn't be too big of a deal. Yeah, I'm running very low on money. Yeah. Any questions about the documentary or future videos, things like that? This is a Q&A with Snowman, so feel free to ask. Luke Danger. Also, don't forget to deploy your trebuchets if you're hunkering down, because they do best to tap enemy and stay place. Oh, not a bad idea. There we go. Oh, is it? Oh, never mind. Here they come. Dang, he wasn't kidding.
Construction complete.
Okay, let's build one more refinery and then we'll call it a day.
Constructing.
So I want to build it someplace safe. Rocket Head. Also, apologies, I may have to go on Ace Combat rant. I am not waiting patiently at all for Ace Combat 8. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because I've only played Ace Combat 7. I haven't finished it yet. I want to do a playthrough on my second channel, because I really enjoyed what I played of it. It's just life got away from me and I wasn't able to finish it. I'm really excited for Ace Combat 8. Are you excited, or are you, like, not excited for it? Or Gluesman, I want to suggest that you do a reading of the unfinished Tiberium 1 observation account. Just do like a poetry reading, but for Peptuck's novel. I did consider doing something like that. That might be fun. I don't know. I don't know how much of an audience there would be for people to just sit there and watch me read it. Just do audiobook Snowman. Vivid of Light says, how is the documentary going along? Any other material needed? Are we still on track for August? No rush, though. Can't wait. We're definitely not on track for August. Just with IRL stuff, and also, like, working with people like Flaktrack, Zypher, and Common Ground. Like, the soundtrack alone is definitely going to take some time. We're shooting now for September. Everyone says they can get it done by then. I'm not sure that we can. So we'll see. I really don't want to have to push it out further, but things are crazy, both in my real life and also just trying to get this all to work out. So more? Oh, we can make more air pads.
Constructing. Constructing.
Yeah, let's go. That should be good enough. So I'm sorry, but it does sound like it might get delivered. We're trying our very best to get it done before the summer ends. But I'm trying to be realistic here. Just a lot of the extra stuff is taking some time. But in every other regard, it's doing great. We're doing some extra scenes. Like I said, with Zeptages and the questing, it's been really good. I'm very excited. I just want to make sure that I'm doing this good. I don't want to rush this. I want this to come out and actually be of a good quality, because I really want this to be a gift to the Command & Conquer community.
Construction complete.
Let's see. Org Luzman, have you ever planned to play the political game Suzerain? I have never heard of Suzerain. I'll have to look that up. I've only ever heard the term Suzerain when I've played Civ 6. I played a little bit of Civ 5, but Civ 4, 5, 6, 7. Snowman, did you get my Gmail image? I'm not sure I know what you're talking about. Rockhead. Ace Combat has been one of my first games along with CNC and the PS1. Yeah, I'd love to play more Ace Combat. It's super fun. And I definitely want to cover more of it on my second channel. So look out for that there. Rockhead. Ace Combat 7 was exactly what the series needed to rebound from its slumber. Yeah, it was fantastic from like the first quarter that I played. I really need to finish it. I'm going to start from the beginning on my second channel. So, Bit of Light, no rush. Take the time you need. Give it a when it's done release date. Yeah, we're still shooting for end of summer, but we'll see how realistic that is. Probably by August, I'll know if that's actually realistic. Rockhead says, Ace Combat 8 looks like a perfected the formula by reintroducing a lot of elements from prior games that 7 could not implement. Yeah, the trailer looked amazing. You should have seen me when I was watching the Summer Games Fest. When that came out, I was like pumping my fist in the air. I was so excited. Org Lubin said, did most of the voice actors send you all their roles? Yeah, there's a couple that are a little late, but they're by no means the bottleneck. Because, like, I still got a lot of editing I've got to do. I still got to get in a lot of the artwork, the remixes I'm still working on with Common Ground, because he's the mastermind Common Ground. He's the one actually doing the remixes and I think he's doing one completely original track for the Nod stuff when we're getting all like the alien artifacts and stuff after Sarajevo and Cairo. But like, so most of that is Common Ground, but he does talk with me a lot to figure out what's the emotion, what's the feel we want for this scene, what's going on here, what would the inside of a Nod temple look like, what would their religious chants sound like. Like, there's a lot of like lore stuff he talks over with me that I have to be very involved with. So like, those are all the bottlenecks as far as like unavoidable stuff that just takes time. So there are a few voice actors that still have to get their stuff in, but that was because of IRL stuff that kind of like unavoidably delayed them, and they're by no means the bottleneck for this. Alex Bazad says, I really should play Suzerain. They announced a TV host DLC. I really got to check out that game. That sounds interesting. Let's get a Tempest pod.
Researching.
Okay. Org Luzman, Cody Franklin of Alternate History Hub did a video called The Insane Story of Red Alert, terribly summarized. Oh yeah, I used to watch a lot of Alternate History Hub. I don't really remember why I stopped watching. But, I remember enjoying his content. I should check that video out.
Our base is under attack.
Go away. I need more lasers.
Constructing.
As Gluzman has mentioned, AC0 is considered the best of the series on a whole hearted of the whole PS2 trilogy. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard AC0 is like the pinnacle of the series. Is there like an easy way to play that if you don't have a PS2? Because PlayStation doesn't do a very good job of like remastering or making their old stuff available on newer stuff. That's one of the reasons why I'm an Xbox guy. As much as they are awful, their backwards compatibility stuff allowed me to like play a lot of 360 titles that I missed back in the day. Snowman, you need to play Civ 4 with the Realism Invictus mod. Yeah, I really want to go back and play Civ 4 if I get the chance. Prism Tanker, what do you think about the RA2 mod Mental Amiga? As somebody who played the entire Ally campaign, it made me want to bang my head on the wall for all the lore decisions made in this game. Oh, so you don't like Mental Amiga? I tried. My problem is that Mental Amiga is held up as like this amazing, like the best mod that was ever made. It makes Thriller 2 and Yours Revenge like so much better. And it is a pain and a half to get it installed, to get it working on your computer. You have to like go to their Discord to get like certain things to make it work right. And I finally got it all up and running. And then when I started playing it, it was running at like 5 frames per second and I couldn't get it working. And so I finally just gave up because I was like, why is it this hard to play this game? Maybe there's things going on behind the scenes that I don't understand why it has to be that hard like to play the game. But like, holy crap. It was absolutely insane trying to like just play the dang game. Like Tiberium Essence isn't that hard. All these other games that are like standalone mods aren't that hard. I don't understand why it's so hard just to get the game up and running. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm stupid. I am well and willing to admit that that is a possibility. Probably even is the case. But like, goodness, it's hard to get that up and running. So someday I will get around to playing Mental Amiga because it's such a huge and important mod in the history of CNC and the community. And I'm sure they have done amazing work, both with story and with like a complete ground-up reimagining of Thriller 2 and Yours Revenge. But oh my gosh, did it take me forever to like figure out how to get this thing working. Rockhead, Ace Combat Zero is a pre-order bonus for other than... Oh, that's right, I heard about that. Yeah, I was super excited because that was like an actual easy way to get to play the game. Hopefully it becomes standalone at some point because I don't think I can afford to pre-order it right now.
Unit ready. Tempest strike now available. Dynasty outpost detected. Locate and destroy the barracks.
Oh, rocket troopers, rocket troopers.
Forcing the convoy. Our base is under attack.
I know our base is under attack. Let's get rid of everyone first. Tiberium and Tempest are the same thing? Not quite. They're definitely very similar. They're clearly like inspired by Tiberium, but like not the same thing. Alright, let's see what we can do. Alright, let's get everybody back. Let's build a repair bay.
Constructing.
Alright. Could really go for Rubio's right now. Fish taco sounds delicious right about now. Ace Combat Zero. Alright. Bit of Light said Tiberium Crunch. All part of this balanced yellow zone breakfast.
Silos required.
Rockhead. They cannot legally re-release the old games because of the IRL aircraft licenses. Oh, that's right.
Unit ready.
That does make sense. What are you guys doing? Go back here. That makes a lot of sense. That sucks. The pre-order bonus was only possible because of loopholes with said licenses. Gotcha. That sucks. Alright, let's see. Whoop. Let's get rid of these guys. Whoa! Just gone. Whoa, okay, same side. I think they were supposed to originally have laser missiles, but I think they're all replaced with lasers because of the thing that I added. I'm just going to try and destroy as much as I can before we start the timer. I feel like that would just make things easier. Orglusman says, Ace Combat 0 Remastered will be a release, has a pre-order bonus. Yeah, exactly. I just installed the Twisted Insurrection mods. Yeah, no, I played a little bit of Twisted Insurrection. I need to finish it. Everybody on the comments always wants me to cover, like, the big mods for the Tiberium stuff, and I really don't feel comfortable doing that until I've covered all of the main games. Alright, is that everything? I think that's everything. Cool. Alright, get back over here and rearm and re-up. There we go. Alright, this is going pretty good. Rocket. However, all Ace Combat games have extensive documentation on how to get them running on PC, mostly through emulation. Well, that's good, because they do have a good PC, so maybe I'll do that. I love that it also repairs them. That's so nice. And they refilled really quick. Rock ahead. Ace Combat 6 is a step above. It has been recently decompiled and runs natively on computers. Oh, awesome. That's pretty cool. Destroy the salvage vans. What do you mean? Oh, you can pick up the crates from the air. That's cool. Alright. We're going to try and destroy as much as we can before we start the convoy stuff. I like how you can see ruins of the world before, with, like, the vans and everything. One thing I wish that people would return in RTS is the civilians. Whoop. What we have here? Oh, we got a SAM site. No match for me. Here we go. Let's keep it rolling. Oh, this must be where they're coming out from. Isn't there supposed to be one right over here? Could have sworn there was one right here, according to the map. Whoop. Oh, we lost one. Cool. Oh, we got some interesting questions in the chat. Rocket had said, also, I recently discovered there's an exclusive lore on the instruction manuals for the official model kits. Yeah, that's the Japanese for you. Just ask the Kingdom Hearts fans how they get their lore. Or Glusman says, what is your favorite FPS campaign, Snowman? It's hard to pick just one. I will say that it's hard to beat Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 has one of the best single-player campaigns of all time, in my opinion. I love the original Modern Warfare trilogy. Really fantastic, that one. Black Ops, like all the classic Call of Duties before they kind of became repetitive nightmares are really good. What else we got? Halo is great. I think Halo Reach is probably my favorite of all the Halos. But I love the entire Halo trilogy. Of the original Halo trilogy, I think Halo 3 is my favorite. And I have a soft spot for the 343 games, even if they're not the greatest, just because that's what I started out with. Medal of Honor, I love all the original Medal of Honors. I think Pacific Assault from Medal of Honor is tremendously underrated and has one of the best campaigns ever, and nobody talks about it. Like, literally nobody talks about it. I want to do a video essay on it at some point, just because nobody is talking about how great that campaign is. Great anti-air stuff, but still, man, like, good grief. Man, this makes things a lot easier if you can knock all these guys out first, you know what I'm saying? Alright, let's get you guys back. Vivid of Light says, you'll see civilians in this campaign later. Not a huge part, but you do get objectives to protect, rescue, evacuate the turn. Oh, that's nice. I really like that. Especially for a good guy faction. I feel like you gotta have some great protect the civilians missions. Chase Baker says, hey, Snowman covered a greatly disliked official tie-in book before covering a greatly liked unofficial mod. Snowman is certainly thorough in his CNC presentation. I salute your willingness to suffer. Yeah. Bit of like all the CODs before Ghosts. I actually really like Ghosts. Ghosts is my first like next-gen console Call of Duty. I really liked it. I love the variety of the missions. If you go back and play that campaign, especially in comparison to how campaigns are done now, man, the variety. You're doing everything from tank missions to being in space to being underwater, doing stealth missions, controlling a dog. Like, honestly, I think COD Ghosts is overhated. I get why it was hated at the time, but, like, going back now, I think we were too harsh with it. It is still a fantastic campaign. Is it as good as the ones that came before? No. Is it still freaking fantastic? In my personal opinion, yes. That is my hot Snowman take for the day. So that's an MLRS, but it can't shoot in the air. How about that? Yeah, the story, I think, suffered from being so certain it was going to get a sequel. It's not the greatest. I think it's serviceable. I don't hate the story. I think there are worse Call of Duty stories out there, like the latest Black Ops. I think is even the Black Ops before it. I think was not super great. But as far as gameplay go and the variety of missions, I think that COD Ghosts is one of the best Call of Duty campaigns.
Secondary objective accomplished.
Okay. We're doing pretty good, guys. I'm trying to figure out what it is about this game. Oh yeah, Infinite Warfare. I really need to finish that campaign. I've heard that like it's a really underrated campaign. It is actually one of the best stories. I need to go back and finish it. Orgulson says, Halo 4 ruined by retconning the Forerunners and not to be humans anymore like the original Halo trilogy. Yeah, I don't like a lot of the lore changes that 343 made. Halo 4 was like the last Halo I ended up playing. I did end up enjoying that campaign more than I thought I would from a story perspective. Gameplay-wise, got very frustrating a lot of times. Advanced Warfare wasn't bad, but admittedly a bit unfocused at first. Yeah, Advanced Warfare was a fun ride. It's kind of just a good bit of popcorn fun. I don't take it super seriously. And that's where we got press F to pay respects, so, you know, swings and roundabouts. From what I gather, Bungie was never sure on the forerunners themselves. I mean, doesn't 343 Guilty Spark straight up say that the forerunners were human? Like in Halo 3? Like, I'm pretty sure that was established lore. See if we can bug out. Or we can't. Let's get you guys home. Rockhead, they alternated ideas on what they thought their ancient humanity or just different species multiple times. Bit of like, he does basically, yes. See, I thought that was right. Prism Tanker. As a special forces group, COD Ghost can't even compare to Ghost Recon from the Defense Universe. No, it was it was pretty funny just how fast and loose everybody played everything in COD Ghosts. Bubba says, Forerunners being human was so heavily implied that nothing else makes sense. Well, like me and Vindicative Light said, like, I don't think it was even implied. It was straight up said in Halo 3 by 343 Guilty Spark. Like, that's not even a... Is that a debate? I mean, I could be wrong. Vindicative Light, you are the child of my makers, the heir to all that have created. You are Forerunner. Yeah, it feels... I mean, unless you want to, like, do some semantic stuff, that feels pretty airtight. Bohuma Novak says, Snowman, what did you think of the story after the end of Tiberium Twilight where they saved the planet and they went into space? The less we talk about that abomination, the better. I don't even necessarily hate the idea of GDI. Well, I think that was the thing. I didn't like that it was Kane that saved everyone. I felt like there was a lot of retconning going on, that, like, Kane just wanted to leave and then was like, oh, I'll save the planet. Like, it's fine. I don't know. It just, the vibes were off. Like, some of the ideas on paper were really interesting. The idea of a GDI inter-Civil War I thought was really cool. I like that because that's never happened. It's mostly not. If I ever made, like, a real CNC4, I might keep that idea because I think it just needed to be executed better. I feel like GDI needs to be the one to save the world from Tiberium. I don't think it should be Kane. But yeah, it just, I don't know. I just felt so empty. When that campaign ended, I just remember feeling a sense of emptiness, a sense of, like, that's it, and just feeling like, wow, that's the end of the Tiberium series. Wow. I just felt so empty. Chase Baker. Guilty Spark says to the Master Chief, you are Forerunner. Does he mean the Augmented Spartan 2 or the Humanity in general? Bungie didn't really clarify that. Yeah, like I said, if you want to get into semantics, you could say that it's not as clear, but it feels pretty clear. I could really go for some pizza. Pizza Hut. I think I'm just hungry, guys. I think after this mission I'll stop. I think I'm really hungry. Bubba says, yeah, the only real question was why Master Chief was Forerunner. The Arbiter, a record of our lost time. Human history, is it? Guilty Spark, Halo Combat Evolved. Huh. Rockethead, Joe Kukan himself echoed, there's no CNC for meme in an interview a few years back. We can decanonize it. He did? If you could find that and put that in the comments when this becomes a VOD, So put a link there so I can follow it. I would love to see that because I'm using that in a future video. Zaptages. RA2 is a great showcase of less is more. Mental Amiga is the antithesis of that. Yeah, love some hot takes. You know what? Let's do this, guys. Give me your hottest CNC takes that would maybe get you some blowback if you said it in the CNC Discord or the subreddit. Give me your hottest CNC takes. You're probably going to make me mad, but that's what we're here for. Respectful disagreement. I'll give you some of my hot takes in a minute. I'll see if I can find something that's actually hot. Rockethead, the GDI Civil War could have been done so much better. I agree. I love that idea. Execution just sucked. Prism Taker says sames in regard to your views of CNC4. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let's get out there. I don't know, you guys. I feel like I haven't been in this flow state of being able to like just talk with you guys about like things that I'm passionate about and stuff like that. I feel like I've been so exhausted the last few live streams. I think life has just been so rough lately, but this has been really good. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being here and talking stuff. Glusman says the original ending of Halo pretty much confirmed. Also, the YouTuber C3 Sabers restored it if you want to see it. It's good. I might check that out. All right, let's save and let's go get them. GDI in space. Is that your hot take? Arbiter. Halo 2 cut content had the Arbiter finding a Forerunner skeleton. It is human. Interesting. See, that would have been really cool. Vivid of Light. The USA should not have lost in CNC 0 Hour, and that the game's plot was just EA's attempt to get the game legalized in China. You know, I don't know. There might be an element of truth to that. There was a lot of, like, I remember in that era, there was a lot of, like, media people who were trying to do stuff to get their game or their movie into China. Like, in Iron Man 3, it's only a little bit in the actual Iron Man 3, but in the Iron Man 3 that was released in China, there's whole extra scenes of these Chinese doctors talking about how they can, like, save Tony Stark or get the arc reactor out of his chest while allowing him to live. And it's shown, like, oh, only these amazing Chinese doctors are able to do this. It was just funny to me how badly they were pandering to Chinese audiences to get their stuff in there. I don't know if it's the same way with games. I know that the original base game was banned in mainland China. So I think there might be some truth to that. So that's an interesting hot take. Chase Baker. Also, like, should USA have not? Yeah, I remember as a kid being a very, like, kind of growing up in a conservative household and being very patriotic. I didn't like that 0 Hour ended with USA losing and China being there. As an adult, I think it would have been fine if in a sequel they had, like, explored what a world kind of having China as the preeminent superpower would look like. And I know the original, like, campaign DLC for Generals 2 was originally going to look at that, like, China kind of losing hold of the world and their influence on it. So it might have been interesting. But yeah, as a knee-jerk reaction, just because of how I was raised, I definitely didn't like it. But I don't know, they might have been able to do some cool stuff with that. But that's a fun hot take. Chase Baker, the unnamed game that had the balls to end the saga, and I respect it for that. Oh, that might be the spiciest hot take you've had. Anyone's had here. I don't know if we can top that, guys. I will try not to send not hit squads to your house for this, because this is a safe space. We said hot takes. We gotta be key to our word. Arbiter, Mammoth Mark II sucks. Oh, that hurts my soul, Arbiter. But okay, we asked for your hot takes. I am curious to why you think it sucks. I mean, in-game, it's not the greatest. I think it could have been better, but, you know. Just, I love the idea of it. Good to me. No. Destroy the missile turret. Here we go. Let's get rid of the power plants now. Rockethead says, I think a GDI Nod alliance could happen in 4, but only if the Skrin reach an apocalyptic level of escalation. I agree. And the few times where GDI Nod have allied, I really liked it. Firestorm was super cool. I like that allegiance, but basically we're facing extinction. I really liked in the Nod campaign, there was a more local alliance between killing Qatar's forces in Australia and the GDI base commander there. I love that. So I would love to see that. I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's really cool. Bohemian Novak says, GDI with Skrin technology to colonize space after CNC4 to battle the Skrin. I don't know if that's a hot take. I've heard that a lot. A lot of people would like that idea. And even the game that shall not be named has basically canonized the idea of GDI using Skrin technology or reverse engineering to augment their technology. Did I lose any? No, I did not. Warhawk Rambo, I agree on the U.S. losing 0 hour not being my thing. I also think that China should be more antagonistic in generals, be it like the evil commies trope. Yeah, yeah, I don't think the thing about USA losing bothers me as much as the USA being outright replaced in Generals 2 by the EU. I think that's really stupid. At the very least, they should have turned it into like NATO so that the US is included, but I don't know. I feel like there was more story to tell with an isolationist USA in the game instead of just like outright replacing them, especially since no other game has outright replaced a faction in the CNC universe. I feel like that was really stupid. But I do like your idea of, what did you say? China being more antagonistic. Yeah, I think especially since a lot more stuff, I mean, we've always known that China has not been the greatest on human rights, but I think in more recent years, we've even gotten more of that with how they treated the Uyghurs in the concentration camps. And, you know, they've never treated Christians well, or really any religious minority. That's been a known thing for a very long time. So I do like the idea that China is seen more as like a quasi-ally, like competitor in the original Generals, but I do think that in a sequel they should have moved on to making China more antagonistic, because that's kind of how it's reflected in real life. You could do some more stuff with the USA also being kind of odd with their stuff with the CIA. I think you could have really gone into some of the darker side of the USA as well. I think if you did it to both, it would be interesting. Obviously, I think China's record on human rights is much worse, but that's just me. I just don't like concentration camps. What can I say? I know that's a hot take. That's my hottest takes. Snowman does not like concentration camps. Put that on a t-shirt. The hottest of takes from the Snowman. But yeah, no, interesting. That's an interesting hot take. That's probably the most unique one I've heard. Let's see. What else do we got? Zaptages. A galactic defense initiative would be pretty cool, and a natural progression of the story. Yeah, I agree. Prism Tinker says, I'm not sure if it's a hot take, but I kind of like the most of the design choices of GDI Armory in the CNC4. They just have a robust flavor to them and their power armor features. Interesting you mentioned that, because I've done a whole live stream talking about the units from CNC4, and I don't hate a good number. Some of them are downright stupid, but I don't actually hate a lot of them. They're not bad. Right, let's get a bunch of really fast units out here. Arbiter says, honestly, just the in-game use. It's so slow and it doesn't fit with Titan Force. I agree. It could have been better in-game. But they were rushed, unfortunately. Hey, Privateer Man says, Snowman actually streamed himself making a tier. Yeah, I just said that. Yeah. Or Guzman says, CNC Renegade is not that good. Oh, that's a hot take that will get you in trouble. I don't necessarily disagree with you on that. I think especially compared even with other FPS of its day, it's not as good as things like Medal of Honor or any other like FPSs of that time. I still really enjoyed it, but I enjoy it for lore reasons. I enjoy it for the universe. I enjoy it for what it did with the multiplayer space. I kind of agree with you that just objectively speaking, it's not the greatest as an success. And I see why it didn't get a sequel, even though Westwood themselves say that, like, we learned so much on that and we would have done better in the next one, which I do believe. So it's a shame we didn't get a sequel, because I think they would have done a much better job. But that good hot take, Orglusman. I don't necessarily disagree with you on that. Rockethead says, thing is, all the time they have teamed up with has been in Kane's absence. The new screen invasion would be so bad that Kane would be forced to realize he has to hold out an olive branch to help him survive. That would be interesting. You're right. We have never seen an alliance with Nod while Kane's still alive. Quote unquote. Cyborg Mech, I don't like that GLA captured Europe. Did they capture Europe? I thought they just, like, threatened it and destroyed some, like, key bases. Am I wrong? I don't know. It's been a while since I played through 0 Hour. I mean, Tiberium Dawn kind of had that problem where they, quote-unquote, Nod took Germany, which is, like, crazy. But I kind of rationalized that in the documentary, is that they didn't actually take, like, Germany. They took the rural areas, built bases out in the countryside, and then infiltrated the governments to, like, actually take control. Privateer Man, the closest we got to antagonistic China was the rogue Chinese general in that one U.S. campaign space game. Yeah, again, I don't think they really wanted to antagonize China because they wanted game sales there. But I would like a more antagonistic China because, like I said, they're a pretty awful regime in real life. And the USA definitely has its problems, especially with the CIA. I hate the CIA. That's another thing. We support Poland, and we hate the CIA on this HHC Snowman channel. All these hot takes here. And that's the closest you will ever get to my politics. Privateer Man. Of course, Snowman can't have too many hot takes. He'd melt. Exactly. Gotta stay in the fridge over here. Orglusman, the Red Alert 1 weaponry makes no sense. They should have used for real life World War II and Korean weaponry. Yeah, I guess. They wanted to do more stuff that was like, you know, the conspiracy stuff from World War II. Privateer Man, I enjoyed the cheese of CNC Renegade. Havoc was really fun, and I loved how, unlike other FPS protagonists, actually acknowledges him as a walking WMD. Yeah, the tone was definitely a whiplash from how serious Tiberium Dawn was, but, like, I like it for what it is. And Wally Winger absolutely knocked it out of the park as Havoc. That guy has so much range. Like, I think he's also the Riddler in the Arkham games, so, like, insane range with his voice. Bit of light. Renegade single player not being that good isn't that hot a take. Renegade multiplayer, on the other hand, was great. Yeah, I really wish we got more stuff like that in the future. Privateer Man. Yeah, in 0 Hour, the GLA outright went and conquered Germany for the love of the game. Wow, really? I need to replay 0 Hour. I need to get a bunch of footage for Generals in 0 Hour for my channel, because I'm going to make a video essay of Generals in the future at some point. So I might start doing live streams of Generals to start beating that, and then we can come back to Tempest Rising at some later time. Because I got to admit, Tempest Rising is starting to feel a little tedious, and I'll come back to it later, but I think I want to relax a bit more at this stage of my life. I think when things start getting better IRL, I'll come back to Tempest Rising, but I think for my next live stream, I might just start playing through Generals, because I need the footage anyway, and I don't know, it sounds more fun. And I need to brush myself up on the story again. Illuminovik says, no, after Soviet-occupied Europe, Europe becomes Tim Dawn weak. I don't know what that means. Gary Reed says, Red Alert 1 without Red Alert 1 weaponry would not be Red Alert 1. This is true. Alright, I think we're ready to go. Let's start this. Orglusman says, Snowman, you should play Rogue Warrior. It's in the room of FPS. You can hear Mickey Rourke, Rogue Warrior, Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke voiced a video game character? Rockethead. Havoc was only held back by the tech level. Imagine him with 2040's equipment. Well, you don't have to. Look up Peptuck's novel on fanfiction. It's got a older Havoc still kicking butt. Privateer Man. Oh, that reminds me of that fanfic novelization CC3 where it's made responsive for novelization and Havoc appears. Yep, exactly. Chase Baker. The true flaw of RA3 is that every unit has a secondary ability that becomes worthless when grouped together in assault pushes. Yeah, I agree. Suburb Mech. I don't mind making the EU a new faction generals too. Is that your hot take? I feel like I'm the only person that minded that it was turned into the EU. feel like nobody else gave a crap. I feel like I'm the only person. I could be wrong. All right, here we go. All right, new objective.
Here's the first convoy, Commander. Take it out.
Here we
I
go.
set you up with a communications jammer. It could disable the weapons of enemy vehicles and aircraft.
Dynasty outpost detected. Locate and destroy the machine shop to prevent the enemy from leaving.
Wow, this was really easy.
Dynasty outpost detected. Locate and destroy the air factories to prevent the enemy from reinforcing the convoy.
Will do.
Getting into position.
Rue Barbarian says, for what I hear, Soviet ending leading to Tiberium Dawn, and allies leading to RA2. That's not a hot take as far as I'm aware. I did a poll. Most people think that the Soviet ending from Red Alert 1 leads to Tiberium Dawn, and the allied ending leads to RA2. I think that's ridiculous personally, but I'm in the minority. Like, that's, if anything, I've got the hot take, so, which is kind of crazy. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Tiberium Dawn stands on its own without a prequel, but it is interesting that is the majority belief.
I'll check it out.
Okay, here comes the enemy.
Solid copy.
Zaptage, as far as FPS campaigns go, Perfect Dark for N64 is one of the most played games of all time. I just love that game. Maybe I'll cover that at some point.
Gotcha. I'll check it out. Solid copy.
Privateer Man. The fixed, otherwise serious military tone gets closer to an action flick in his presence. He casually snipes people with a pistol because he's Havoc. What are you going to do about it? Yeah, like, Havoc is a total Mary Stu or a Gary Stu, and I love it. That probably makes me a hypocrite on a lot of other things in things about media, but, like, it's Havoc, man.
You got it. Getting into position. I'll check it out.
It's like getting mad that Wonder Woman can one-shot anyone. It's like, that's her character. She's the greatest warrior in the DC universe.
Getting into position. I'll check it out. Solid copy.
Prism Tanker. What's the fanfic called? I think it's just called Tiberium Wars. That's on fanfic. Just look up Pep Talk fanfic Tiberium Wars, and it should be the first thing that comes up. Bonehawk says, did you figure out why after the Soviet victory in RA1 lost Super Tech timeline, they didn't just merge with the Alert Society dumb? I don't think RA2 happens in any version of a prequel to Tiberium Dawn. I think that's kind of how it works. Bit of like, I would have preferred another US NATO to the EU and Generals 2, but Generals 2 was canceled, it doesn't matter. Yeah, me too. I agree. Rubarbian says, Perfect Dark on N64 is just perfect. With better FPS. I was really sad that Xbox canceled the new Perfect Dark. It looked like a mix of like classic Perfect Dark with like Deus Ex immersive sim stuff, and it sucks that it got canceled. I was so looking forward to that. Rockethead says, also had a few ideas for a post-CNC3 plot progression. The immediate idea would be a semi-Civil War GDI with Boyle and the people who are interested in keeping him around, trying to coup GDI. That would be fun. What? What?
Enemy convoy
Oh.
approaching.
Oh, we have to stop them from getting to where I am. Whoops. I gotta go all the way to the other opposite end of the map.
You got it.
Here we go.
Solid copy.
They might not even need my Quellers.
Gotcha.
Or Glusman is talking about fan art. Good fan art. Rockethead. And this partially distracts everyone from Kane stealing back the Tacitus. Kane does love his Tacitus. Jathal also agrees with you about the Area 1 timeline. He does?
Gotcha.
I must have missed that.
That's one down. The next convoy looks to be coming from the northeast.
Okay. Should be pretty easy to deal with. Alright, everybody, wait a sec. I haven't watched his latest Red Alert 1 videos. They're just really long, but I love his videos. I gotta go back and check those out. Fun fact, Jathiel actually agreed to voice some of the stuff on my documentary. So we're actually in contact, which is super cool. I didn't think he would even care or listen to anything I have to say because I'm such a small channel, but he was super nice. So, I'm I'm super looking forward to having him work on it. I just have to write his scene. Let's see. Alex Pisadze, I have a theory that in the General's timeline has Tiberium, but because it's more like IRL, the big oil has more impact on the U.S. government and get Tiberium to save their paychecks. That'd be interesting. I do want to keep everything as far as, like, gosh, the timeline is so long. Look at that, 5 minutes. Ah! Anyway, yeah, I think I like it better when all of the timelines are separate. My one exception is I do like the idea of Red Alert 1 being a prequel to Tiberium Dawn, but otherwise I think that they should all be separate. Ooh, more hot takes incoming. Gary Reed, hot CNC take. GDI stumbling onto an old Yuri base on the moon is why they have all the old-fashioned Gatling gun weapons in Twilight. Yeah, sure. Rubarian, plot twist, the Anthrax is made of Tiberium. Privateer Man, I like that one theory that Dr. Thrax's Anthrax is actually Tiberium the GLA acquired at first, which is how they're so well funded in Genos. Yeah, it's a fun theory. Can I just hit a button? There used to be a thing you could do in games where you could just say, do it now. Like, I'm ready now. Oh, wait, hold up. Well, that'll go a little faster. Anyway. Warhawk Rambo. While RA3 is not bad, Mental Omega is a better follow-up to Yuri's Revenge. Yeah. One of these days, I'll check that out. Cyber Mark. What happened to all the Red Alert tech in Tiberium Dawn? I'm not sure. And that's, I mean, the real out-of-universe reason is that, obviously, when they made Tiberium Dawn, they were not expecting to have to rope in the lore from Red Alert 1. So, obviously not a prequel at the time that Tiberium Dawn was made. If I had to come up with an in-universe reason, I would say that, unlike Red Alert 2, where they eventually, like, perfected the chronosphere technology, technologies like we saw in RA1 were so unstable and so dangerous that after the war they were like, we can't use this, and nobody actually found a way to perfect them and make them safe like an RA2. That's my headcanon. Is that actually a good reason? Probably not, but that's what I have in my head. Rockethead says Boyle's faction mostly would be private contractors and security forces, some bribed local police, and very few actual GI military forces at Switch, and it would not be a dangerous coup in the end. Bohemian Novak says, what I meant is, after Soviet victory timeline remerged with the original timeline and the super tech was deleted from the timeline. I still don't understand. But I'm probably stupid and really hungry right now, so that helps. Privateer Man, probably Mothball due to being impractical, but just like how Titans were found to be impractical in the sun. Except for Steel Talons! Woo! Steel Talons rules. Alex Basatze, Mammoth tanks are there, Chronosphere was dangerous. Exactly. Rubarian, the logic of the Soviet enemy in Canada is the most GDI gears are Soviet units. I mean, they could still use Soviet tech after they won.
Second convoy located, Commander. Don't let it through.
I will not. Please let me control my units. Ah! Goodness, kill him. I can't see anything. And away we go. I guess we don't really need to kill these things. Let's just go kill this thing. Hello.
Primary objective accomplished.
7 minutes? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, I really made this so much easier by destroying everything first. Oh my gosh, this is gonna take forever. Yeah, after this mission I'm done streaming. And then I'm gonna switch to generals the next time I stream. I don't know. This game is so weird because on paper, I like a lot of the choices it made. So why do I feel just kind of about it? I'm gonna have to think about this, and I'm probably gonna have to complete the campaigns at some point. I don't know. I'll do a poll. If you want, I can just finish all the campaigns myself and then just come back with my thoughts. Or if you guys really want to see me actually play the whole campaign, you can. I'll do a poll. Either I go back to Generals and you guys watch me play that and I just do this on my own, or you eventually want me to come back and do this. You'll have to let me know, because I don't know what it is about this game. Like, on paper, and the skirmishes, I really enjoy playing skirmish, but like, this campaign's just kind of not doing it for me, and I don't know why. Anyway. Argusman, so General's timeline, Big Oil saves the world by eradicating Tiberium for their own profit. Yes. Privateer Man, Snowman, have you considered covering other RTS games on your channel in between CNC videos? I want to cover so many other games, not just RTS games, Privateer Man. I want to cover so many other games. It's just right now the algorithm is such that those ones don't do well. Even like my video on like just covering RTS games in general and talking about what I would want in a new RTS, that video didn't get the greatest amount of views. I did a video on like retreat missions, which included Call of Duty, Halo Reach, and Generals. That one didn't do super well. So like, maybe once I like life gets better for me IRL and I don't have to depend so much on like revenue from my channel for like actual IRL stuff, I can actually do stuff that I want to do. I'll do more video stuff on other video games, but right now it's just those anything that's not CNC does not do well on my channel. I don't think anybody really cares for it on a mass scale. But otherwise, yeah, I'd love to cover other RTSs. I've been wanting to talk about Age of Mythology for a really long time. What do we have here? Snowman, something else to be explored is the inter-service rivalry. That'd be interesting. Suburb Mech, you should take a break. Vidid of Light, play what you want, Snowman. It would be cool to see you play the whole campaign, but what would you want? What do I want? What do I want? I want to do a whole video on why the campfire scene from Tangled is amazing and put that on the member-only thing. That's what I want to do. Privateer Man, Rockethead, I really wish we had gotten the second CNC3 expansion. King's Wrath is internally labeled F1, meaning we were supposed to get more stuff, probably GDI and Screen Evade. No, really? Oh, that would be so freaking cool. Oh. The soundtrack is really reminiscent of Tiberium Dawn, by the way. Dang it, I would have loved... Dang it, Now I'm sad. I really wish we had gotten that. And Rockethead agrees with me. Gary Reed says, I heard people say the GDF campaign is relatively boring and the Dynasty campaign is way more interesting CNC feeling. Maybe so. Privateer Man says, yeah, it makes sense. Your channel is small and niche. Zeptatus, F1 was probably more future-proofing than anything else. Yeah, maybe, but gosh, can you imagine if we had gotten a GDI version of like covering GDI over the years? Steel Talons and Zocom being formed? Oh, that'd be so cool. Rubarian says, fun fact, unit pathfinding is more hard to program than doors. Privateer Man says, one RTS, well, RTT game series that has a lot of lore potential would be the ground control games. I don't think I've ever heard of ground control. Owen Lars, welcome back, says Peak Tip Dawn vibes. Black Track, I quite like the Commandos vid. Love playing Commandos 2 back in the day. Yeah, no, Aussie really wants me to do more Commandos stuff. I've recorded myself playing through all the games, except for the newest one, Commandos Origins, which I did play all through, but it takes up a lot of space to have videos recorded of that, so I'm going to record it later. But Commandos Beyond the Call of Duty, Commandos 2 Men of Courage, and Commandos 3 Destination Berlin, I've recorded my playthrough of all of those, not with commentary, but just for footage. So at any time, all I have to do is write the video essay script for those, and I can make those videos. So I would love to make more Commandos videos. Novak, just like the Red Alert 2 timeline. Hold up. good.
Weller, ready for combat.
Oh, here we go. Just let me kill these things.
Target's an enemy. You got it. Solid copy. Ready and waiting, command. Getting into position. Focusing. Take him out. Where's the fire?
That's it. The convoys have been destroyed. Thank you for your assistance, Commander. Greatly appreciated.
Okay. Oh, is that it? Okay. Well, here we go. All right, then. Bohumanovac says, just like Red Alert 2 timeline, re-emerge after time travel to stop the Psychic Dominator disaster. That's exactly what happened in Einstein. Time travel to stop Adolf after the Soviet victory. Privateer Man says, ground control is actually the predecessor for World of Conflict. Oh, interesting. Rockethead says, oh, also, I want to see decommissioned equipment from the older Tiberium wars used for civilian roles, like fire department or orca bombers. That would be cool. Okay, Poland. We're going to Poland. All right, I'm going to stop now. I'm going to do a poll just to see what everyone thinks. But right now, if you ask me right now, gun to my Xbox, gun to my PC, I don't want to live stream this anymore. It's kind of just draining. I think I will just switch over to live streaming generals, since I need that for footage anyway. And then I'll play this on my own. But I'll do a poll to see what people think. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. The documentary still chugging along. Hopefully I'll have a new teaser for you guys at some point that I can show to everyone, not just members. There is a 7-minute long preview of all the stuff I've been working on and I've been able to finish editing. That's on the members video. So if you want to chuck in a buck to help me out and take a look at that, I would love that. Otherwise, there'll be a completely different teaser that'll be out probably in a month or so. But thank you guys for being here. Oh, we got some last minute questions. Privateer Man says, what would you say is the most unique piece of content you've gotten for the documentary? There are so many ways that I could answer that question. Because if we go by unique as in like who put in the most effort, that could easily be you, Privateer Man, because you've done some stuff with your friends where you've recorded like basically a live action version of all those not CGI cutscenes where they put a flag over a building to show that they won. And that was really cool. But there's other stuff. There's things like people recording stuff in their native language. Actually, I believe it was Org Luzman did a whole video that was talking about, it was like a talk show between Israeli people basically talking about like one side being like a Orthodox Jewish person who joined GDI and one who was like took Judaism seriously, who was on Nod side, and they were debating about like why it was okay to follow Cain and why that didn't contradict Judaism, and why the other person was like, no, that's heretical, that's why I'm joining GDI. And it was really interesting, and it was all completely in Hebrew, but unfortunately I couldn't find a place for it. It just kind of dragged down because so much of that's kind of stuff that, and it wasn't just him, there was a lot of stuff on like what Mormons would think of Nod and what like Christians would. And I even got some stuff from a Muslim who was talking about some things like that. And I unfortunately couldn't include a lot of the religious stuff because it just dragged down the pacing of like the pre-war stuff. We needed to very much get into like the war itself and the missions and everything else and stuff with Tiberium. So I had to cut a lot of that stuff out, but it was really unique and I kind of wish that I could keep it. Unfortunately, I can't. Maybe I'll show it off sometime later, like in like cut material. But there's some really like unique stuff there that I really wish I could have kept. That would have been really cool. Privateer Man says, perhaps there could be something like a bonus feature alongside the documentary or a big master doc. Yeah, it might have to end up just being a master doc because it would be a lot more work unless I like took another couple of months to like make that and put it into a bonus video. Yeah, director's cut. Maybe that'll make it onto the DVD. I'm always joking that I would make like a VHS or a DVD at some point. As far as other unique stuff, there's something that I can't share yet, but I was able to get somebody to contribute to this project that I didn't think I was going to be able to get. And that might take the cake as the most unique thing that has been contributed to this project. And it kills me that I can't share it with you guys, and it's going to be like another several months before I can show you guys. But trust me, you're going to love it. Very, very good. Man. I'm going to turn the gain up a little bit more, see if that helps anything. But yeah, no, there's yeah. And as far as anything else, I think for writing, there has been some very unique stuff. I think Emperor Tyrannicus did some cool stuff where he did like I showed you a bit of the teaser, like it was Kane's personal journal or Seth's personal journal. That was really cool to get some like intelligence database stuff from like a first person perspective, which we really only ever saw like in Kane's Wrath with the Kane entries. That was really cool. There was definitely some cool stuff, and I super just you guys send in some really great stuff, both the voice acting stuff, the writing stuff. There have been people who have contributed voice acting who knew nothing about Command and Conquer. They know nothing. They were just like, oh, I love voice acting, can I help? And I'm like, yes, please. And then they just give these Oscar-worthy performances, and they don't know what they're talking about. I have to explain to them what Tiberium is, what the Brotherhood of Nod is, like, hey, this is how you should be feeling about this character that your character is talking about. And they're like, awesome. And then they give their all, and it's so freaking cool. As much as I love like all the voice actors, I have a special place in my heart for the people who have joined the project who know nothing about Command and Conquer, because I just find it like hilarious but also heartwarming that they have given like 110% of their voice performances when they have like no nostalgia or childhood love for this project, and it's so cool. What do we have here? I've been wanting to see your thoughts on Tempest Rising. I'll talk a little bit on that before I get off. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, Puppeteer Man says, oh, and since you were going to stream with bigger content creators, will they be doing any promotions for the documentary when it comes out? Good question. I don't think they will. It was mostly just so we can talk about CNC. We're not going to be talking about the documentary. For the most part, I might touch on it, but we're mostly just going to be talking about CNC, how we got into it, how we got into our YouTube careers. But one of the guys who is a last-minute addition is a guy called Alex06. You might have known him, heard of him during like the last anniversary we had for Command & Conquer. He did a lot of interviews with people like Brett Sperry and Lewis Castle and Eric Yeo, a lot of the original Westwood guys. He is a legend of the Command & Conquer community. Alex06, he runs the Command & Conquer subreddit and the Discord and a bunch of the Facebook groups. I don't think entirely by himself. He has other people, but like he's one of the biggest guys in the Command & Conquer community. And I've been in contact with him for a while because he's seen my videos and he helps me out whenever I want to like when I did my video on when did the first Tiberium War take place, he helped me get a hold of a lot of like stuff along with Zed links to like figure out like firsthand knowledge since he's in contact with Westwood guys. So I was able to get a lot of answers to questions. So Alex06, he heard that I was doing that and he was like, hey, I can promote that live stream when it happens, which is now scheduled for August. And I was like, oh, absolutely. And I was also like, hey, did you want to join? And he was like, yeah, I'd love to. And then I asked him like, hey, I really appreciate you, promoting the live stream on basically everywhere that you own, the Discord, the subreddit, the Facebook groups. Could you do the same thing for when the documentary comes out? Could you like promote that? Because that's really the thing I care about more and the thing that I don't want to flop and the thing I really want to get as much eyes on as possible. And he was like, oh yeah, absolutely. So that was super nice of him. So in terms of promotion, yes, I probably got the biggest promotion I could possibly get from the Command & Conquer community. When we get a release date, when I'm finally confident I know exactly when this thing is going to get released, I'm going to hit up Alex06 and you will see it everywhere. And I'm so excited about that because so many people put so much work into this project and I don't want to let them down. I want this to be a success, if for nothing else, for all the people who have contributed to this. Let's see. Oh, Emperor Tyrannicus is here. Hey, how you doing? Just did what I could. I can and do write third person, but stuff like journals just feels best in the first person. Yeah, Tyrannicus is great. He's written a lot of great stuff. When we do the, I'm going to do a live stream after we release the documentary with a bunch of the main creators and contributors to this project. He's going to be on that panel because he wrote some great stuff. He's also helping me bounce some ideas off for the CNC novel that I'm writing, because the CNC Tiberium Wars video essay killed me, and the only way to heal me is to write a novel of my own. It's not on the Tiberium Wars era. I'll tell you more when I can, but I've written about 2 chapters of it, and I'm still writing more. But he's, along with a few other people like Luke Danger and Vidit of Light, are people that I'm bouncing off ideas for the novel. So, cool stuff there. Privateer Man says, oh, I can't wait to see that. Yeah, it's incredible how they just do it for the love of the game and are happy to volunteer for stuff they don't know about. Yeah, fantastic. Like, LaQuesson, she's a Twitch streamer. She does a lot of the voice acting for a lot of the female characters. We recently got another main female voice actor, and she's fantastic. Goes by Dear Lord. She's awesome. But LaQuesson is amazing. Pretty much every time she sends in stuff, I pretty much never have to say, hey, can you do a second take? I don't know if I've ever had to ask for a second take. I think I maybe done it once, but she pretty much always nails it first time. Let's see. Now I want you to cover the novelization of Tempest. There's a novelization of Tempest Rising? Privateer Man says, honestly, this is generally pretty good, since it's better to have an overabundance of content for the documentary than a lack of it. We'll show the community's passion. Yeah, exactly. I think the hardest thing for me, editing-wise, is going to have to, like, edit it down for pacing, because I've never done stuff like this before. I've done, like, films, like, fan films before, of, like, my own little, like, student projects, essentially, with, like, friends before. So I've done some film stuff and script writing stuff, and I've been writing fiction for most of my life, just for fun. Nothing I've ever shared with anyone. But as far as editing for pacing, that's the thing I'm probably the most worried about, because I don't have a lot of experience in it, and I'm trying to make sure that I get the pacer. I'm kind of just doing it on instinct. I am acting on instinct, if you will. So I hope that that ends up well. I might have to find somebody I really trust to look it over. Maybe the guys at Super Challenge Bros, just to see if they get a second opinion and see if the pacing is good. Emperor Tyrannicus says, doing well enough. Family emergency still going on despite the stress. Ah, sorry to hear about that. I hope everything's going well. Okay, that's pretty much everything. I think I'm all caught up on the chat. So if there's any more last minute questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to be ending the stream because I'm very hungry. I need some chicken tenders is what I need. I need to get some chicken tenders in me. Did you guys know that Costco has started like selling chicken tenders now? They have like a knockoff Chick-fil-A sauce that comes with it. It's actually really good. It replaced the calzone that nobody was buying anyway. So yeah, I'm going to do that as a poll. What's your favorite Costco thing to get at the food court? And I know that there's different items on the food court depending on where you are in the world. So, you know, I'm going to do that. I'm going to put a post up for no reason. Just ask you what your favorite Costco food court item. And I want to hear from international audience as well, because I know you got different stuff. Emperor Tyrannicus, Privateer Man, thank you. It's involving an elderly aunt who's in pretty poor health. Not sure what's going on. Highs and very big lows. I'm really sorry to hear that. All the good vibes to you. And if anyone here is religious, maybe pray for him as well. I appreciate you, Sharon. Hope she does better soon. Alex Basatsi says, what's your favorite sauce? In-N-Out spread. That's my favorite. Chick-fil-A sauce is a close second. There's probably other sauces I'm not thinking of, but those are my favorites. Jazz Hiko says, so, given that I missed your TR videos, what do you think of Tier's Successor CNC? All right, this will be the last question I answer, and then I'll stop. Tempest Rising, again, I haven't finished all the campaigns, so this is an incomplete thought. But I feel like Tempest Rising succeeds in that it doesn't do anything super crazy innovation-wise. I know some people have come down on it because it doesn't do anything new. I think you need to be very conservative with the changes you make when it comes to the basics. So, base building. You start with a power plant, then a refinery. You have fields of your resource. You have a radar thing. You have an air force. You have base defenses. You have, like, everything needs to be of the mold of what a classic CNC is. so that people can jump in and don't have a huge learning curve. RTS is hard enough to get in as it is. You need to make as few barriers to entry as possible so that people will just jump in and know how to play and be able to have fun quickly. If I can jump into an RTS and immediately start a skirmish against the AI, kick its butt, and have fun, you've succeeded, in my opinion. You need as low a barrier as entry in that regard. Now, not saying you can't have innovation, but the innovation needs to come not with the basic gameplay mechanics. It needs to come with things like, I've been saying this for years, bring back subterranean units from Tiberium Sun, bring back stealth, bring back amphibious units, stuff that's not hard to figure out, not hard to understand, but spices up the gameplay. That's where the innovation needs to happen, not in the basic mechanics that make it hard for you to understand how to play the game and makes it so that you might bounce off of it because you're not having a fun skirmish experience in the first 5 minutes. In that regard, I think that Tempest Rising nailed it. I have so much fun playing. Just when I get on phone calls with people I love, I tend to play video games just to because I think I have ADHD or something, so it's just easier for me to focus on the conversation if I'm doing something in the background. I do that with Tempest Rising a lot. Also Commandos. And it works. It's good. So I think they nailed that. Where I think Tempest Rising doesn't do as good is with the world building and the story. I don't think it's immersive enough. I don't think it really makes you feel, yeah, I'm fighting for the GDF, or, haha, yes, my life for the Tempest Dynasty. It doesn't capture, I think, enough of the feeling of you want to be a cog in these machines. And I think that's something that people don't quite understand about RTS. In FPS and RPGs and a lot of other games, you want to feel connected to a specific character, whereas in RTSs, you want to feel like you are happy to die as a cog in this specific faction's machine. And I don't feel enough love for GDF. I don't feel enough love for the Tempest Dynasty. I don't think they've done enough to make those factions stand out and feel unique, and to really make you feel immersed in this world. And that's the other thing. The Tempest is everywhere, but I don't really see its effect on the world. I don't really see it. And again, I'm being unfair because I haven't finished the campaign. So this is an incomplete review. But, it doesn't make me feel like I want to fight and die and command for these factions. And I'm not even entirely certain what it's done that fails in that regard. I just know the end results. Again, I didn't make this game. I didn't spend years making amazing graphics and CGI cutscenes and building up an entire game from scratch. Kudos to them. And I think that this game is very important. I mentioned this in my video about what's important about RTSs. I think this could be the System Shock of RTS revivals. It's not the BioShock. It's not the silver bullet that's going to bring everyone back into RTS. But I think it's an important first step. It's like that anecdotal story about Benjamin Franklin when people said, what is the point of a hot air balloon? You can't actually go anywhere that's more efficient than a carriage. And Benjamin Franklin reportedly, probably didn't actually say this, but he reportedly responded, well, what good is a newborn baby? And I think that's super important to remember when we're criticizing games in the indie RTS space. Let's be real. RTS is on life support. We need indie developers putting in the work that has been put into something like Tempest Rising. It's an important first step. I think it's really important. I think games like Dwarf are going to be an even bigger step in that direction of bringing RTS back. We need to build up and constructively criticize games like Tempest Rising. Be honest in your criticisms, but don't be like a schoolyard bully just oh, this game is garbage. That doesn't help anyone. That doesn't help RTS. That doesn't help our community. That doesn't help Command & Conquer. What helps is being, hey, here's all the amazing things you did great. Here's maybe the things that you probably should have done better. If you guys survive as a company, as an indie company, to make a sequel or another RTS game in this genre, here's what I think you should do better next time. I think that's eminently more helpful to this space, into our dying genre, than to just say, ugh, mid. That doesn't help anybody. So that's kind of my 2 cents on it. Again, not really worth much, because I'm a small YouTuber, and I didn't complete the campaigns, so my opinion is probably worth, 3 handfuls of dirt, or the equivalent in Australian dollars. But that's my thoughts. Privateer Man. Honestly, Dynasty and GDF feel like the names of fan-made factions for CNC mods, like the Foe and Revolt and Mental Omega. Maybe biased, but doesn't feel like for the faction CNC. Yeah, and maybe they should have tried to be less trying to copy Command & Conquer and try to do go for a swing and a miss, maybe, of their own thing. Or maybe it was better that they played it safe. I don't know. Kane's Wrath has Storm Riders, Mechapedes, attack bikes where you can shoot and move out of the way without getting destroyed. Yeah. Can you play Dying Breed? I might try Dying Breed. We'll see. Cyborg Mech. I was waiting for DEF CON 0 Frontlines of Tomorrow. Looks interesting. I've heard of that. We'll see how that looks. Emperor Tyrannicus. RTS is a dying genre. We need to support it the best we can because I want to do Dune one day. I know. My favorite moment watching the first Dune movie by Denis Villeneuve was when they said, like, oh, we have no silos. And I was like, ha! Silos needed in the cinema. Jaziko, Star Trek fan here. First season TNG is def not the best. Yeah, and first seasons of any beloved TV series tend to not be the greatest. They tend to take their time getting their foot. Like, I'm a big Parks and Rec fan. That first season's rough. And I bounced off of The Office because that first season was rough. I need to go back and finish it. But first three seasons, you kind of just have to understand or take a while for them to get their footing. Gary Reed says, here. And DS9 is your favorite. Yep. I really want to do DS9 when I get the chance. Hey, it's Runewish! He's great. He's going to be on that live stream that we're going to do in a little bit. Looking like August. He's super cool. If you've seen his last video he did on a mod of realistic CNC, it's fantastic. It's awesome. Mech Commander. GDF is from an FPS game. Ion Fury. Oh, really? Interesting. Alright, well, I'm going to end now. I got to go. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for playing. We'll see you all next time. Hopefully playing Generals. And be sure to comment on this video if you have any more questions that I missed. And I'll try to respond to them afterwards. Thank you all for being here. Alright, what does this button do?